Hey there, all you cool, epic, and awesome fans, followers, and listeners. You're now listening to episode 59 of the Cool, Epic, Awesome podcast. My name is Matt, and I will be your co host today.
And I'm your other co-host, Joe.
And on episode 59 today, we have a spooky episode ahead of us.
We do.
What is today? Today is October 22nd, so
22nd.
we're about a week away from Halloween. So around this time, there's always a bunch of horror films coming out and whatnot. So
We're going to be talking about Smile 2 today, as well as
Terrifier 3.
Terrifier 3. I don't know how I forgot that. Yeah. And we're going to also be reviewing the movie Matthew recommended, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So quite a big horror slate planned for us today.
Yeah, and don't forget our top 10 also.
Yes, we're also going to be doing our top 10 horror movies from the 1980s, which is arguably one of the greatest eras in horror movies.
So, yeah, it's between that or the 70s. 70s is my favorite.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also recently just went to Comic-Con this past weekend. That was fun. I dressed up as Ghostface. My friend was Beetlejuice. It was a good time. I know, Joe, you wanted to go.
I wish. I was working, unfortunately, but I will be there next year.
Yeah, conventions are always a good time.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, I guess to start things off, we could talk about Terrifier 3.
Yes.
So I'll
I don't know if you want
to. I'll pull up a quick little synopsis of this film. But for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Terrifier franchise, it's kind of like the newest slasher icon.
Yeah.
That's really stuck around. But the last one was like Ghostface from Scream.
Yeah.
That was like, what, 1996 or something?
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, let me read this. Oh, geez, this is a long synopsis. 5 years after surviving Art the Clown's Halloween massacre, Sienna and Jonathan are still struggling to rebuild their shattered lives. As the holiday season approaches, they try to embrace the Christmas spirit and leave the horrors of the past behind. But just when they think they're safe, Art returns, determined to turn their holiday cheer into a new nightmare. The festive season quickly unravels as Art unleashes his twisted brand of terror, proving that no holiday is safe. All right, that was a long-ass synopsis, but it's basically just Art the Clown killing people during Christmas time.
Yeah.
So yeah, we actually talked about Terrifier 2 on the podcast a couple episodes ago. I'm a big fan of this franchise, and I'm a big fan of Art himself. I feel like Terrifier 3 it did end up being my favorite of the bunch. Agree. I think it's the most well-made. You could really tell that the budget gets like a bit of an increase compared to the previous two movies. And I feel that David Howard Thornton as Art is just so entertaining to watch.
He definitely has the most screen time out of any of the three movies in this. And they really give him his chance to shine and really show that kind of mime-like kind of, demeanor he has with people. I honestly found it really funny at times, him interacting with people.
Yeah, a lot of the movie was very comedic. Like one scene that comes to mind is leading up to the shower scene where he's sort of overhearing the conversation. Yeah. And he's kind of like reacting, but no one's really watching, so he's kind of like doing it for the audience in a way.
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny. I know the bar scene was very funny. Although I missed some of it, I have to say.
I was going to say. Matthew got a little queasy during the movie.
Yeah, I got to bring it up. I mean, I love horror. I usually don't mind this stuff, but there's one scene in particular that happened in the movie, which was basically, so there's this character, Victoria, who is the disfigured woman at the end of Terrifier 2. She's also a character in Terrifier 1. She's basically the victim in Terrifier 1. She comes back to help out Art in this movie, but she's also like possessed by a demon. It's, I don't know, the lore is kind of complicated. Anyways, there's a scene where Art is murdering someone very viciously, and as he's doing it, Victoria is watching him and pretty much pleasuring herself with a giant shard of glass.
Yeah.
And, good sound design for the scene, I'll say. And lots of, that imagery of the blood dripping down from there.
Yeah.
Got me a little bit uneasy. I can't lie. I started getting lightheaded.
So Matt described the scene to me, and I thought it was going to be a lot worse, in my opinion, to be honest. But I feel like me and your tolerance for gore is a little different.
Yeah, you see real gore in real life.
That's fair. Yeah.
But dude, I don't know what it was about that scene, but after I watched that, I was like, okay, I'm starting to get a little lightheaded here. I was like getting
If
hot.
anything, I thought it would be like the shower scene.
I don't know. Well, the thing is, what happened? So, anyways, I start getting lightheaded. I'm like, dude, this will pass. And like, I just was like I was like kind of psyching myself out a little bit. So I
Hmm.
was like, I gotta get up so I
Yeah.
basically left the theater for a second, bought a water, and then came back and like slowly sipped the water, and I was fine after that. But I missed like the beginning of when Art goes into the bar. So I know people were saying that scene is mad funny. I basically
Yeah.
I walked back in the theater while Art was sitting on Santa's lap. So
Yeah.
anything leading up to that, I
He
pretty much
basically
missed.
just he goes in the bar and like sees Santa and starts like freaking out, like that he's hyped that he sees him, and that's pretty much it. He sits on his lap and then
Yeah, he pisses on him.
yeah. That guy who played the Santa was actually really good.
Yeah, he was funny.
Yeah.
I saw the scene of him getting killed,
Yeah, it
but
was fun. The movie was a lot funnier than I expected, honestly.
yeah,
We
it's just like
mentioned that.
it's fun. It's
Yeah.
slasher fun. Like you're kind of rooting for Art,
All right. Yeah.
even though he is so violent and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I will say though, also Lauren Lavera as Sienna Shaw is
She's great.
really
Yeah.
amazing as that final girl, and a lot of people, especially on Twitter, just like falling in love with her, like
Yeah.
her performance. I wonder, first of all, if her as an actress is gonna get more roles in Hollywood. I feel like probably because this
Probably.
movie made so much money.
Yeah.
And I wonder like how Sienna's story is gonna wrap up and if she will end up going down as one of the one of those Mount Rushmore of final girls.
I don't know. I feel like she's like Terrifier's not big enough yet for her to be up there, but we'll see.
Yeah. To be fair, like how much bigger can it get, It's gotta be in the mainstream by now.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like it's not as big as like Freddy Krueger or like Chucky or you know, like Chucky's
Yeah.
literally. Honestly, Chucky might be like the most like what's the word? I guess marketable or like used of any of the icons most like now. He had a
Yeah.
TV show. He's constantly in the media. There's always like haunted houses with Chucky.
I feel like recently Leatherface for some reason has had a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah. The whole
Also,
concept of horror icons is just really cool.
yeah. That's why I love this franchise so
Yeah.
much because like try to think in your head, like think of a new horror icon. It's like
The
impossible.
closest one would be in a violent nature.
No, I'm just
That's
saying like think about if you had to make
oh,
one. Like how hard it is to
it
get
is.
one
Yeah, it's
that would
hard because it's
like
it has to.
how can you make one that's unique enough, you
Yeah,
know? So the
because so
fact
many
that
have been
Art
done,
is so cool and people actually do love him is just really cool to see.
and he's
Just for like
unique. Like he's very different than all the other icons as well.
yeah, I was watching a bunch of like Damian Leone interviews and stuff because
Hmm.
I just find him interesting because he's from Staten Island, which is where we're
Yeah,
from. So it's
and I feel
just
like
like
he has a lot of connections to people like around us.
yeah. Well, that's
Like
kind of like
well,
sorry, I was gonna say that's kind of like just how Staten Island is in
yeah,
general.
that's fair. Like he
Well,
he went to the same high school as I did, and a lot of the scenes in Terrifier 3, including the shower scene, were filmed in my school, which is kind of cool.
yeah, a lot of the movie in general was filmed on Staten Island.
Yeah,
The the mall Santa scene, I was there when they were filming
yeah,
it, so that was really cool to
cool.
see David Howard Thornton in
Yeah,
person.
yeah,
I remember going up to the girl who was there was basically like a barricade so people could
hmm
look in, but they weren't really supposed to film. I kind of got some footage
yeah. If
for
you
it.
went
Well,
up top, you would be able to see it. Like you could
yeah,
film because they didn't
but
do anything.
I kind of you could tell a lot of people were just interested, but at the time, who really knew about Terrifier that much besides if you're really invested in like
Yeah, like
horror.
me and you.
Yeah. So I went up to the girl and I was like, "Oh, like is Lauren here?" Like referring to Lauren Lavera, and she knew like I knew, like, who would
Yeah,
know the actress that's starring in this movie
yeah.
when it doesn't say anywhere like what the title of the movie was
How
or
the
anything.
movie is.
So yeah, she was like talking to me a little bit, telling me about like how they were filming and stuff. Lauren Lavera was not there that day, sadly,
Uh,
but would have been
Still
cool.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah, seeing David Howard Thornton though in person was pretty crazy. He's like huge. He's mad
yeah. He's
tall.
tall, right? Yeah.
And Art just looks crazy, especially with the Santa fit on.
Like when I went, the art wasn't there. They were just doing like the scenes of like the kids. But so I didn't really get to see the makeup and stuff in person. But I've heard like he goes to a lot of like horror cons. Excuse me. And he does, like, he has wears the full makeup and everything, which is sick.
Yeah, you could tell he really loves playing that character, and it's cool to
Yeah,
see all these people. They don't have egos or anything, you know? They're not like big Hollywood people. This is all
yeah,
done without like a major studio backing.
yeah,
So, it's really cool just for film in general and also low budget horror.
yeah. I know Matt's obviously a bigger fan of the Terrifier series than I am, but I'm never not gonna like a horror movie from the ground up. Like, especially from Staten Island where I'm from. Like, it's just an awesome story.
Yeah, definitely. And
Uh,
I'm interested to see where it goes and also where all of these people's careers
people,
go,
yeah,
especially Damien Leone. I
yeah.
wonder what else he's gonna do next
I've
after
heard
this.
rumors that he's been talking to like the Evil Dead people. I mean, that seems like like the next step. Like, I feel like he fits more in line with those movies than like a typical slasher. You know what I mean?
Y I guess, yeah, in terms of, like, how
The
grotesque it
gore and
is and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Like he could. I'm sure. Like if he did it, I don't know. Like I have no idea what he's gonna do, but I'm just saying I could see a world where like he takes on an Evil Dead project, but it's his spin on it. So like it'll probably be like a lot more graphic or something.
Yeah, I've been like I mentioned, I've been watching a couple interviews with him,
Hmm.
and I actually watched one recently. Hold on, let me pull up the YouTuber's name 'cause, oh, do you know Sean Chandler? Shout out to him. He's,
Maybe.
he's I don't know, he's someone that I always watched and when I especially when I was, like, first getting
Yeah,
into movies. He talks about,
yeah.
like, Marvel a lot and stuff
Hmm.
and just does, like, rankings, whatever, on YouTube. He interviewed, Damien,
Damien
and
Leone.
I watched the interview, and he was talking about how, um, when Terrifier 2 came out and it was this massive success, basically every studio you could think of hit him up and was like, "Let's have a meeting." So he said he had a week where he basically, like, went out to LA, met with all these different studio heads. Like, he said he didn't wanna name names or anything, but
Yeah,
basically everyone you could think of, I'm sure, like Warner Brothers and
Brothers, Universal.
Universal, whatever, and they basically offered him, like, a boatload of money to restart the franchise, basically make a new film called Terrifier, like,
Like an
and
Evil
do it
Dead kind of.
kind of,
Yeah,
but more in line with, like, I don't know, like Scream or something where it's like
yeah.
or like Halloween,
Yeah.
where it's just it's a different movie, but it
They're-
has the title of the original, and it's kinda like a new spin on it.
It's just a much higher budget.
Yeah. And he basically said from the vibes he got in the conversations was that they weren't gonna let him do what he wanted to do, so he
Hmm.
just was like, "No, I'd rather do this with, like, a minuscule budget and do it how I want to do it."
Yeah, because honestly, I feel like the budget, most of the budget, like would probably go towards like sets and actors than the actual gore stuff. Because the highlight of the movie is the gore. Like that's like what we're there for. I feel like, and it's done extremely well with these movies on such a low budget. So they don't really necessarily need a massive budget for these movies.
Yeah, I will say though, there are some scenes in this movie where you could tell, like, the sets are not the best,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. But honestly, I don't mind that. Like I didn't
I don't
mind
mind it
it really
either. Yeah,
small. Yeah,
I think
you
it
know.
works.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So as a
Um,
whole, what do you think about them going for, like, the Christmas aspect? Because
I
I
loved it.
loved
Yeah, I
it,
loved it.
yeah.
I thought it was. I love when horror movies do unique kind of like spins on. Like a good example would be like Scream. What was it? Scream 5 or 6? 6, I think, was in New York, right?
Yeah, that's
And that
6,
like
yeah.
played big into the marketing and like the story of the movie. Like same thing with Terrifier, where they have like Terrifier Christmas sweaters and Spencers. They literally have a song in the movie, like it's called Terrifier Christmas. So I like that they kind of like lean into it a little bit.
Yeah, so do I. I like how some of the kills, like, correlated with Christmas a little bit
Yeah,
too. Not all of them, but he uses like, in the second movie, he has a flamethrower at one point. In this one, he kinda has, like,
chainsaws.
an ice thing, like an ice
Oh, I
shooter.
forgot about that. No, it was like
What is it
n-
called?
oh my god, carbon something.
Some type of, like, I don't know, I forget. It was cool seeing him, like, build it and stuff too.
I
I'm
forgot.
blanking on what that stuff's called, but he
Oh
basically
my
used
god,
it to, like, freeze people, which I guess kinda
nitrogen
went.
gas maybe.
Yeah, yeah, something like that, like nitrogen something.
Yeah,
I thought that kinda went with the aesthetic too, like him
yeah.
freezing people.
I thought there were a couple like references to Christmas movies in the like. I thought that I picked up on an Elf reference. in
I
the scene with Santa.
You mentioned that to me, but I didn't notice that. What
Like,
would you
so
say?
when he gets kicked out, like, remember when Elf gets kicked out of the scene in the mall?
In a Elf?
And yeah, and he's like, Santa's there, like pointing at Santa, like
Yeah,
yelling at the guy. Like the guy kicks him out, and Art like does kind of that same motion, like pointing, like Santa's there, and like the
could
guy
be.
like kicks him out. I don't know. That's what I thought.
Could be. Yeah, there was a couple. I didn't really pick up on that, honestly, but I'm gonna have to rewatch. I definitely wanna
Yeah,
rewatch
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, honestly, I was surprised because when this kind of felt like an event almost. I went to the theater, there were multiple people
yeah.
in cosplay with, like, makeup and people wearing Art's full costume.
To be fair, I feel like Staten Island is pretty
No,
like it's pretty
I mean,
big
I saw
here.
it in Jersey. I
Oh,
saw it
you
in
saw?
Jersey,
Okay, fair. All right,
but
fair,
still
fair.
but still. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
I think that Christmas was just such, like, a cool way
yeah,
to go with this franchise, and especially how you can use it to frame Art the Clown and his kills. Like, the opening was amazing. I love
yeah.
the opening.
Oh, it was great.
Just
Yeah,
it would be like, what would happen if, there was an evil Santa, basically, but instead
yeah,
of just, generic evil Santa, it's actually just Art.
yeah,
And the way that first scene played out was so good because, like, the little girl comes down because she hears footsteps. But this movie went further than any evil Santa
yeah,
movie would. Like, I
yeah,
feel like that is the worst thing you could do is kill a
yeah,
kid.
yeah.
So,
I know there's a lot of like controversy. Well, not really a lot of controversy, but some people are saying like I don't know, like well that it's. I don't even know how to talk about this because like it's such a stupid thing because he's literally a murderer. Like there's no in all of these horror icons. Like yeah, they're cool, but they're all like murder. Like you're not like they're not like good people. It's like when you find out they kill a kid, like it's not surprising.
yeah, I think people's argument against it is that children's death should not be used as a form of entertainment. But my
Why
problem
not?
with that take is, first of all, why not? It's fake.
Yeah,
It
it's
doesn't
fake.
matter. Like you just said, these people are evil.
Yeah,
Second of all, plenty of other horror icons have killed kids before, and no one
yeah.
really complains about it until now. I think
Chuck
there's just a general distaste for Terrifier.
Chucky did. He's killed multiple kids. Freddy Krueger is literally a child murderer. That's like his whole thing in the stories that he killed kids.
Yeah.
Um,
Pennywise.
Pennywise, yeah, bro. In the opening scene of Pennywise, he rips off like a 5-year-old's arm, and no
Yeah,
one,
what
you don't even like. I mean, granted, like the gore in Terrifier is worse, but like you see him get his arm ripped off. Like in the stuff in Terrifier, all the killing stuff happens off screen.
Yeah, which I think that was at least a bit more tasteful in terms of,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
he's at least appealing to that crowd a little bit because,
They could
yes,
have really went like
yeah.
insane with it. Yeah,
I feel like if he wants to keep pushing that envelope, they might do that in the next
yeah.
one, but I don't know. Because yeah, Art kills a kid in the intro. You hear like each axe swing and the kid getting chopped up, but it doesn't actually show him getting
No
killed.
scream either.
Yeah, it shows his body
His body
after,
mutilated. Yeah,
which I thought was fine. I mean,
yeah.
honestly, none of bro, anything that they show wouldn't bother me,
But
really,
honestly, it's
because it's
supposed to
fake.
make you feel uncomfortable. Like you're supposed to feel uneasy. It's a mom waking up seeing her child butchered in her bed. Like the movie's doing a good job if it's making you feel like that. So I feel like
Yeah,
that's honestly the biggest compliment they can give is saying this movie makes you feel so, like they're saying how bad it is and stuff. It means it's doing its job. It's supposed to
yeah,
make you feel like that.
exactly, yeah. I know there's some also I don't know, like, how big this is, but did you see there was some protesters outside saying, like,
Oh yeah, like keep Satan out of Santa and stuff.
yeah, because like,
That's funny.
they didn't want them basically putting satanic, quote, unquote, stuff into, like, Christmas, a Catholic holiday. It
What's
was like,
funny is like it's very obvious that Sienna Shaw is like supposed to be like an archangel or some type of angel. Like there's a lot of like Christian kind of I don't know what's the word
just, like, imagery and
imagery. Like Sienna wore the rose cross, not rose cross,
or
the thorn crown at the end, and she had kind of the wavy hair like a lot of the pictures of Jesus do.
yeah, it is very much, like, good versus evil in
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
like, angel versus demon.
Damon, yeah, which is cool.
Pretty much, like, to a T. Even
Yeah.
there's a scene at the end when Vicky ends up getting killed, or Victoria, she basically
Also, yeah,
she
we
gets her
forgot
head.
to I just want to briefly mention she
Go
was
ahead.
great in this as well. We didn't really get to talk about her. She's kind of like Art's sidekick, I guess. I don't want to call her Art's Harley Quinn because it's like stupid, but it should kind of is like it's just like his side kind of person. But
Yeah.
she was great. Like, and it was she like was very vocal and talkative, so it was a nice contrast to the kind of like physical humor
Quiet.
of Art. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and that's something that, like, David Howard Thornton has gotten better at with these movies, is that physical performance.
performance. Yeah,
It really is amazing, like, what he's able to do with his
without
facial
any lines of
acting,
dialogue is amazing. Yeah,
like, how he moves his face, it's crazy.
yeah.
Like, and I haven't he's just like a no-name actor, like,
He
just like
does a
this
lot of
random
these like
guy.
creature movies. I'm surprised like he's not one of those people that does like the puppeteering stuff in movies. Like the people in the suits. I feel like he'd be good at that. Not like suits in terms of like big puppets, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I don't know
I
what the
think he
term
was
would
just,
be.
like, undiscovered, I would say.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna get shit now. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked also I don't know, I just really liked, like, how they focus so much on the killers, both Art and
And
Victoria.
Vicky, yeah, that's why this is the best in the franchise because the
Yeah, because
first two,
this
my biggest complaint was so keep talking over you, sorry,
yeah,
but
no, that's okay, go ahead.
my biggest complaint was that it's Art doesn't really he's great in the scenes that he's in, but he's only in maybe like 15-20 minutes, and
Yeah,
he's the bulk of the screen time is him in this.
yeah, that was my main complaint with the second, because like, the second felt very long. This one's
Yeah,
just as long, but I didn't feel the length,
yeah, I
because the
agree.
second one, there's all, like, this exposition with the family, and to a
Yeah,
point, like, yes, I care about Sienna's character, I care about her brother, but it's just too much, like, I don't give a fuck at a
yeah,
point, like, I wanna see Art killing people, I wanna see Art doing shit, whatever, and that qualm, I guess, was kinda answered in this movie,
yeah,
in
yeah,
terms of, like, it was all about Art, but
yeah,
also Vicky, and I like how at the end they give her her own kinda Art costume.
yeah.
I thought that was cool. It's
I
just
know,
like a
I
little
like that too.
thing,
Yeah,
but just to, just to show that she is almost on his level
level.
in
Yeah.
terms of what do you think was your favorite kill in the movie?
Uh I don't know. I gotta think. The Santa kill was nice. I like the because it was like a cool with the like nitrous gas or whatever it was. Um, I mean, but honestly, the opening kill it just resonates with me a lot. I thought it was like
Yeah,
very well done. That's
yeah,
my favorite scene in the movie too.
I'm stuck between a couple, like, I think that probably is the best scene in the movie, but in terms of what I like the best, and what I
Hmm.
thought was, like, the most cool was just that whole ending, like, the ending of Sienna being tied up and them killing her aunt with the rats.
Yeah,
It's such a creative
yeah,
kill,
yeah. It's so
and it
like,
was
and when he's like jamming the tube down her
yeah,
throat, like it's so violent.
and then when she eventually gets the sword, and she's literally having a sword fight with Art, he has a
Or
chainsaw,
chainsaw. Yeah,
and I like how physical her performance is as well. She's getting
yeah.
thrown around, and it's really cool to see, like, the final girl really fight
Right.
back like
Yeah.
this. This is what we needed out of Halloween
Halloween
Ends.
Ends. Yeah.
It's like a random movie to bring up, but if you think about the slasher icon versus the final girl, and they hyped it up as this final battle. If they had something even like a tenth of as intense
Since as
and
this.
and as cool as this, like, that movie would have been a lot better, and
Yeah.
people wouldn't have been as tight. But this was just awesome. Like,
To
I
be
love
fair,
that
I
fight
don't think they're
between
gonna
them.
throw Jamie Lee Curtis through a glass table, but
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. I really love Sienna. Like,
no,
I just
no,
I
continue. I'm sorry.
I love how, aggressive and fucking just unhinged she is.
He fights,
She's really, like, trying to fuck up
uh,
Art just as much
yeah.
as he's trying to kill her. So,
I feel like she's gonna end up in an Evil Dead thing. She just fits.
maybe.
And she said she would love to do it too.
I know a lot of people online saying, "Oh, put her and Melissa Brer in a movie together and this and that." And she always, like, responds to the tweets. Because you gotta remember, like, she
She's on.
she's not in anything. She's just, like, an actor that I guess David or actress that Damian Leone just found,
Found.
and
Yeah.
then she just got this fame out of nowhere. Like, this movie's made, like, 18 million domestic the first weekend, which is insane. It's like
It made like around the same this weekend too. I think.
yeah, I think it's up in the 40s now, and it had a $2 million budget.
I
which
thought it
is
was 5
just
million.
I saw it was 2. I
I
think it
saw
was
5
2,
plus 1 for marketing.
maybe, I don't know,
But
whatever.
even so, they already
Yeah,
made a profit.
yeah, um, but, yeah, I don't know, it's just, like, such a cool story.
Yeah, it's
I
such
wa
a
I
it
wanna Sorry,
No, you're
go
good.
ahead.
I was saying it's such like a feel good story, like it's it's like the guy, it's his own thing. He funded it himself, and now he's kind of this is like his big break now.
Yeah, it's kinda ironic, it's, like, feel good, and then you
Yeah,
look at
but
the
it's like
content.
the violent fucking.
Yeah,
um,
I wanna talk about quickly,
yeah,
Jonathan's character, Sienna's brother. He was
yeah,
one of my major negatives about this
yeah.
movie.
He's
Nothing really to do with, like, the actor. I thought he was okay, he was fine, but just the way that his character is
actor
handled in
is
this,
really
I
weird.
very strange, especially, like, considering how big of a part he plays in the second. This one, he's kinda just he's at college, he's doing his own thing, he's not really involved in the main plot until the end when he finally believes Sienna that Art's back, and then he just gets killed off screen, and that's it. Like, how are you gonna kill a main character off screen?
Yeah, it feels like they replaced him with her cousin that's in it.
Yeah, the
It's kind of
girl.
like her, yeah, like her kind of, I guess, motivation to stop art, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Honestly, I thought she was a better actor than him, though.
Yeah, he's alright. I mean, he is still young.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I feel like also a reason why maybe they didn't
excuse me.
kill him off is because he's a kid, so they didn't wanna, like,
Yeah,
show them killing a
he's not even,
kid.
but he's not even a kid. He's like in college in that,
Yeah, I
and
guess
like
he
and
looks
Art
mad
killed
young.
their roommates like the scene before.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
But
I don't know, it was just very strange the way it was handled. I feel like there
yeah,
might have been a lot cut from this movie. There's, like, certain things that should have been shown, like, also her uncle, Sienna's uncle gets killed off screen.
oh
Not
yeah,
that I really care, but
it doesn't
it's just
even
w
establish like how. It's just
well,
I think that
he went to go pick up
pick up her
the
the brother. But wait, now hold on. I have a question. Sorry. Does okay, Vicky? Does she have like the ability to mimic people's voices?
yeah, because
Okay,
basically in the
she
second
put
film, there's a demon that comes into the world as the little
little
pale
girl.
girl or
Yeah,
whatever, something her name's something
that
like
little
that.
girl. Yeah,
Yeah, in the post-credit scene of Terrifier 2, you see the yellow eyes that the pale girl had. You see that
in
Vicky
yeah,
has
and
those eyes, so it's saying, like, that entity, whatever, went into Vicky, so she has that ability. So,
okay.
yeah, in that scene, she's
It was her.
mimicking.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
assumed, but I just yeah.
yeah, but again, like, if you didn't watch the second movie, there's no way you really could have
You would even
known
know that. Yeah,
how that worked, and I don't know, that whole part of the film was rushed a little bit,
yeah, but
um, but yeah, I guess
yeah,
favorite
favorite character. I mean, it's
characters,
kind of it's
it's
either
between I
Shaw
yeah,
or Art. You know.
I feel like it's gotta be Art for me.
Yeah,
I just I just love him.
yeah,
I
yeah. I
love him so
agree.
much. He's so fun to
Fun
watch
to
in a
watch.
way that's,
Yeah.
like he's more fun than a lot of other slashers that are as
Oh
iconic, like,
yeah,
almost in, like, a Freddy Krueger kinda way in terms of
yeah.
how
I agree.
comedic he can be,
He can be.
a
Yeah,
and, like, how much fun he has killing these people, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Uh,
honestly, before we wrap it up, I was gonna
mhm.
ask, did you think that the shower scene was the worst or most gruesome kill in the franchise, or no?
No, no. I
You
think
think
the one where they slice the woman in half in the first one is worse, and I think that the bleach salt kill is worse.
fair.
Because I feel like those, like, I don't know, like in the especially the bleach salt, like that's just straight up suffering. That's not even like him trying to kill them; it's just him making them suffer.
That's
And this,
true.
like, at least, I mean, it's the chainsaw. I'm not saying it feels pleasant, but like they're probably dead within the first fucking like swings of it, you know?
Yeah, I guess. But, I mean, just that, like, imagery of your fucking nuts getting sawed off by a chainsaw.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm the wrong person to ask
Yeah.
because, like, for those who don't know, I'm an emergency room nurse, so like I do see a lot of trauma. So like a lot of the stuff in the movies doesn't really have bother me that much.
All right, so you want to get to ratings here?
Yeah. So I actually gave Terrifier 3.5. 7 out of 10. And this is definitely the strongest one in the series for me. Um, the writing's better. Everything is just dialed up. And I'm actually excited to see where the franchise goes. It leaves off on an interesting note, so it's definitely going to be exciting to see where it goes.
Yeah, I gave Terrifier 3 a 4 star, so an 8 out of 10. Probably a little bit biased, but I just loved everything that this movie represents and everything that it did in terms of how graphic it was, how much fun the killer was having, how fun he was to watch, the performances, and it's just cool that you can see a new classic horror franchise being born like right in front of your
Yeah,
eyes. It's something that we've never really
never seen before.
experienced
Yeah, you're right.
before.
I didn't even think
So,
about that.
it's really cool. I feel like
Yeah.
this is how people felt
Oh,
watching Nightmare on Elm
Jason, and
Street and
yeah,
all that, like, back in the day.
you're
So,
right.
really cool. And yeah, like you said, excited to see where it goes next. I feel like they might go to hell in the sequel
Yeah, I was
because,
thinking that too, but how would that work with the budget? That's the thing.
well, I mean, it's gonna be more probably this time, but that's a good point,
Yeah,
yeah. I don't
yeah.
know. Maybe imagine a big
I feel
studio's
like
like, "Fuck it, we'll let
fuck
you
it.
do an
Yeah,
unrated." For money, I don't know.
yeah,
I feel like stranger things have happened.
yeah. It's true. If this makes if this made because I'm gonna assume it'll probably end its run around like 100 to 130 million.
Hopefully over 100. We'll
Like,
see.
yeah, because it's at what, probably 40 something now,
Mhm.
and it's still like people are gonna go this weekend for Halloween and stuff like that. But um,
Yeah, it's also interesting that it's, like, the Christmas theme. It'll have maybe some legs going into Christmas
Chris, yeah,
season.
I was gonna say they should re-release it during December.
Yeah, I feel like they probably will,
Yeah,
but
but yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
alright.
I was thinking about that too. I forgot about that.
What?
That like I was like when I watched it walking out theater, I was like, oh, I wonder if they're gonna go to hell in the next one.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like that's where it's setting up because
That's yeah,
Sienna's cousin ends up getting, I guess,
and
sucked down to hell.
sucked in. Yeah,
Um, yeah, and then Art escapes at the end. I like the ending scene too. That was kinda funny.
yeah, of him at the bus stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but alright, I guess we could move on to the next movie if you
So,
you wanna
yeah, yeah,
give
I'll
it.
talk about it. So me and Matt, we actually got to go see this early. We went to Times Square and got. It wasn't a premiere, but it was like some type of
It was
early.
just like an early access screening, but we saw
Yeah,
it before the review embargo even lifted, which is really
yeah.
cool.
Uh,
Made us feel like official.
feel
Yeah.
official, yeah. Yeah. So about to embark on a new world
Wait,
tour.
you didn't even
Global.
say what movie it was yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we said it. I'm sorry. Smile 2 was the movie we saw.
Yeah.
Um. Anyway, about to embark on a new world tour, global pop sensation Sky Riley begins experiencing increasingly terrifying and inexplainable events. Overwhelmed by the escalating horrors and the pressure of fame, Sky is forced to face her dark past to regain control of her life before it spirals out of control. So I actually watched the first Smile like pretty recently, like the last week or so before I saw this, and I definitely think it's an improvement on the first one. I when I first after I got out of it, I initially was actually I think the first one's better, but as I thought about it, everything in this movie is just dialed up. Like the set design, the acting is good, better. The scares are honestly a lot better in my opinion. I don't know, Matt. I don't know if you agree with me, but
I think that it's definitely a better quality made film in terms of like the budget, the
yeah,
talent involved. But I still prefer the original slightly. I think they're like about on par with each other in terms of how much I enjoyed them.
yeah,
I think that there was some issues that I had with the plot in this movie, but I still really liked it. I think that Naomi Scott, is that her name?
yeah,
I thought she was phenomenal. One of the
yeah,
best horror performances of the year. And, that's saying a lot because there have been
yeah,
so many good ones this year.
yeah,
But just fantastic. You could tell she really gave her all for the role, and she was
yeah.
completely believable as her character.
And she also
I
felt
just
like a like an actual like kind of pop star. Like I don't,
Yeah,
she sung like all this music for the person. She did all the choreography.
I think she's, like, from Disney Channel
Yeah, she
originally.
not well. She played Jasmine in the Aladdin movie.
Yeah, I
That
know
was like
that.
her first big, and she may have been in Power Rangers too.
I think she was, yeah.
Yeah, like the remake of like 2017. No, she's always been a talented actress, but like I don't know why she just never really. This was like her probably her best role, I'd say.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't seen any of her other stuff,
Yeah,
but just based off this, she seems like she's very
yeah.
talented, and also, like, she had to do dance choreography in this, like you said, she had to sing, so
Thing,
there's a
yeah,
lot involved. It's
yeah.
like a demanding role,
Role, yeah,
you know? Um, and this movie's also doing well financially.
yeah. I
I
think
know
it.
the
Oh, you could
first one
say.
was kinda like a surprise hit. It did so well, but
Yeah,
what
it
were
made
you gonna
like
say?
200.
How
The
did this
first one
open?
made 270 at the end, but this opened, I believe, 23 domestic and like 40 something globally,
Yeah,
which is
doesn't it isn't the
pretty
budget, like,
good.
pretty low too?
Yeah, it's like maybe 20 million. Like it's definitely gonna make a profit.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I forgot like the every you, like you me and you said it. Everything is just dialed up. Like the cinematography is better in my opinion. Like it's filmed. It said it takes place in New York City and stuff like that. And I mean, obviously, me and you appreciate that a little more than other people. But I also think it had like really one of the more unique scares I've seen in a while. I know you didn't like, it, but the one with like all the people in her room.
Yeah, I didn't find that to be scary, to be honest.
Not, I didn't. Okay, yeah, maybe not scary, but I thought it was like unique. Like I don't know. I never
I mean,
thought about like that, doing that, like as a smile scare. I don't.
like, don't get me wrong, I thought the movie was scary. There were a couple jump scares that really got me that I thought were done well. One of which was the one where she's watching the video on the phone, and you're sort of, like, expecting the scare to come from the video, but because the shot is basically, like, it's her holding the phone, and you see the phone in her hand, and on the phone, there's a video playing. So you think the scare is gonna be from the video on the phone,
Yeah,
but the scare actually ends up being, like, right next to her, because as it's showing that shot, it would cut between the
her
phone
face.
and her face and back and forth, like, showing her
Yeah,
reaction. So when the scare actually came from, like, next to her in real life, that one actually scared the fuck out of me.
yeah.
I, like, jumped.
You
Um,
know the one that got me really bad was the one
what?
with the girl in the bed next to her
Oh, where
when she's
when she opens her mouth and there's, like, a car
well, not
light.
like not like shock. Not obviously that's not like scary.
Yeah, yeah. No, I got you. It was loud too.
Yeah, I just didn't like. I don't know. You don't. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, and I thought that was interesting too because it kinda goes back to what's actually haunting this character, which is this car accident that she got in that killed her fiancé at the time, or her
Yeah,
boyfriend. And it's kinda, like, mentioned and, how she used to be involved with drugs and alcohol and all this stuff, and how she eventually got into an accident when her and her boyfriend were both drunk, were both
yeah,
on drugs. But it's revealed that it was her fault. She basically, like, grabbed the wheel from her boyfriend and ended up crashing it, killing
she
him, and severely injuring
injuring
her.
her. Yeah,
So that is kinda haunting her, and it's interesting because this whole thing about the smile creature is that it takes what's in your mind and uses it against you. So that was, like, a perfect way to use that creature in this movie because
yeah,
it's showing this thing in her past that's haunting as it is, and then you add in this person that basically, like, throws it in her face. Well, not like
yeah,
person, but
yeah,
entity, I guess.
yeah.
So I thought that was very well done.
I wanted to talk about the ending too, because it's pretty interesting, and they can go a lot of ways if they end up doing a sequel. I'm sure they will. Um, like, did you like how it ended, or you would have preferred it more like something in the original?
No, I love the ending.
Yeah, me too.
But to be fair, it is kinda similar to the original. Both times the final girl doesn't win.
Well, no, I'm saying like this takes place in like a giant crowd in front of like a or would you prefer like her died like in that room, like you know what I'm saying, like that
Yeah.
room where she goes to instead of like coming out in front of the concert.
No, I really like the ending. I
Yeah,
like how they
yeah,
ended it. It's interesting, however, I think it makes moving forward with this film franchise a little bit interesting and
yeah,
challenging, I guess, because as far as I can tell, it's established that there's one entity that latches on. I don't think just because she kills herself in front of many people, I don't think that it's gonna latch on to multiple people, or I don't think there's
But what if
multiple
there's
different
like
entities. I don't know.
I've I feel like there's gonna well, I'm assuming they're gonna say that it infected everyone. That's what I'm taking away from it. I don't know what they'll end up doing.
I saw it
But
as like one demon, so it can only be on one person at a time.
yeah,
But
but
yeah, I
how
guess we'll see.
it's not established like it, I don't know. Yeah, like there's no concrete rules really, so it's everything's up in the air. But I feel like with this it's a really good opportunity. They have like an open sandbox. They could do literally whatever they want. I
Yeah, and
mean, honestly,
I'm sure they'll continue it. I
and
feel
I've
like
seen that they consider bringing in like other directors too to take like kind of spins on the Smile franchise, which I think is really cool.
yeah, because also it is mentioned there's this other character in the film who is he like a nurse? He's a nurse,
Yeah,
right?
he's actually an emergency room nurse from Staten Island, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's you.
That's
That's
literally me.
literally
Yeah,
you. But anyways, so he's like an ER nurse, and he
yeah.
basically ends up reaching out to Sky Riley in the film, and he figures out that she has this entity attached to her because he lost his brother to it. And he mentions like, oh, he got it from this person who got it from this person, and he was like fifth down the line. So it's saying, there are all these other
Well,
people who have experienced
yeah.
this, this entity.
Do you think
So
they'd
there's a
ever
lot of
do?
room for story there.
They could do a prequel even about how the entity first kind of came about.
Definitely. Yeah. They
Yeah.
could do it. They could do like just any time.
Anything. Yeah. Any setting. They can do. They could say like someone from that concert was like from fucking I don't know like Italy or something like just a random. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or even in the past, someone from a different country
Yeah,
had it,
that's true.
traveled to the US, brought it there.
Yeah.
It's almost like the film It Follows in a way, which is also getting
Yeah.
a sequel
That
next
would.
year, I
It's
think.
called They Follows, right?
They Follow. Yeah.
Follow. It's
With
probably gonna be
Micah
in a.
Monroe.
I think it's just gonna. There's gonna be like an orgy, and they're all gonna get it.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be similar to how this ended then, in a
Yeah.
way. A large group
I
instead
have
of
not.
just
I
the
haven't
one.
seen the first, but I do want to watch it.
Yeah, it's good. I think
Yeah.
slightly overrated, but it's a lot of people really like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, to get into some negatives though, I know I mentioned plot issues.
Yeah.
I think it's just like a little bit too much of like none of this was real. Because
Yeah.
some of the best scenes, like the scene where she kills her mother, that was a great scene.
Scene. Yeah.
And it's like it almost reminded me of that scene in the Invisible Man remake. I don't know if you saw it, if
I
you
haven't
watched that.
seen it yet. No.
Do you care if I say
I
it?
mean,
I
I've
won't.
seen like clips of the finale. So I don't know.
I'll just say there's a scene that's similar
He sets up a crime,
where like
basically.
yeah,
Okay.
it's
But
I
it's
don't
like a
know.
reveal.
People who've seen the movie know what I'm talking
Okay.
about. But yeah, it's basically revealed that um with sorry, I just blanked for a second. I'm trying to
You're
think of how
good.
to phrase this. So Sky Riley's mom in the hospital room with her ends up like killing herself with a shard of a mirror. And it's supposed to be like whatever, this entity taking the shape of her mother, whatever. But then after all this stuff happens, Sky's like running to the door to escape, and she all of a sudden looks down and she's holding the shard, and there's blood all
Yeah.
over her, which was
The
like a great
score in that scene
reveal.
was fucking amazing too.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know
really
what that was.
cool, great reveal. There's a lot of story that happens after that
Yeah.
of cool stuff happening, and then you know it turns out none of it happened. We go to the ending. Her mother's alive. Like none of that
Or
happened.
I mean, the mom could be fake in the crowd.
I don't know. I didn't see it as that because I saw
Actually,
it
yeah,
as
you're right
this is
because
how the movie
she was
actually ended.
because he was because she was remember she interacts with her assistant again outside and he was next to her so it wouldn't make any sense.
Wait, what'd you say? Sorry, you just cut
Like
out.
remember like when she tries to escape after she thinks that she killed the mom and she sees her assistant.
Yeah.
He was in the crowd next to the mom, so it wouldn't have made any sense because if the kill happened, like they, you know,
Yeah, no. The kill, bro, like there's no way the kill happened because mad
yeah.
people saw her running out with a gun. And then she was
Oh
just
yeah, I
like
forgot. I
performing on
forgot
stage.
about that. That she stole the gun.
Yeah. So like that actually was funny when
Yeah, that was.
that was a good scene.
Yeah.
A lot due to the performance too.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just didn't really like how they handled that. They don't really do anything with the ER nurse from Staten Island. There's like a
Yeah.
subplot where he's like, "All right, come to Staten Island with me. I have like this abandoned Pizza Hut that I have an operating room in the back where I can stop your heart, so it'll technically kill you. Then I'll bring you back, and the entity will be gone." Which is like interesting. You know what would happen if they did that?
Yeah,
But
because
then
he said
like
his I'm sorry.
they don't even do it. It's just like kind of set
Yeah,
up like they're about to, and then it doesn't even happen.
because he establishes he's like, "Oh, it's a parasite. So, like, if you're not living, it can't live. It needs you to live." So it would essentially just starve it by killing her.
Yeah, sorry, Joe just had some technical
Yeah.
difficulties. Joe just cut out for a second, but we're back. So yeah, I was saying how like it just was strange to me that they set up this interesting plot point of what would happen, you know. And I think Joe, right when before you cut out, you were mentioning how they set it up like it's a parasite, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's
So
almost it was cool that, like, he was, like, tackling it like a medical thing, you know? I thought that was an interesting kinda take on it. Like, because he's a nurse, so, like, the way he saw it is like, "Oh, it's like a parasite."
yeah. And yeah, some
Um,
people might like that much of a subversion where it's like, oh, none of it was real.
I
But to
didn't.
me, I didn't really enjoy that,
That
you
was
know?
the only yeah, that was, like, the the one thing. I wish and then, like, that entire also, the scenes with her best friend, those were all fake too then. Because remember in the car, she gets called, and it's like, "Oh, I'm sorry I never called you over the weekend."
Yeah, so none of that even happened to
Yeah.
begin with, which
Well, I
kinda
mean, it did
like
I mean, I guess it did happen, it was just a oh, no, it didn't. It's
yeah, it didn't. Just strange. I don't
yeah.
know. Favorite scene for you?
Uh, Probably there were either the ending scene with the smile monster, because like, it's just, like, so much bigger in this, and, like, I wish I had a picture of it now, because I feel I didn't really get you only get, like, a couple second look at it, but it definitely looked a little different and much bigger, and the way it presents itself is so cool. Like, so basically, uh, Sky, that's the name of the character, has a scar down her stomach, like, from the car accident. And basically, at the last scene, like, she comes out on stage, and there's another version of her, like, she turns around and she does a smile and basically, like, rips open her stomach, and out of her stomach just comes, like, the smile. Like, it's like legs come out first. It was such a cool scene. And it was a nice reveal. Like, I honestly didn't expect that either. I thought it was just gonna, like, she ripped herself in half or something.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I feel like that either that ending would be my favorite or, the scene that I mentioned earlier with, like, her mother, how
Yeah,
her killing the mother. I just thought it was a cool reveal, but again, it didn't actually
it
happen, so
happened. Yeah, so
I guess that doesn't really matter though because we still, like,
still
saw the
so
scene,
yeah, you still
but
experienced. Yeah,
yeah. And then, favorite character, I feel like it's pretty easily
pretty. Yeah,
Sky.
Sky.
I don't really I did like her friend. I like the actress. She was also in Dream
Dream
Scenario.
scenario.
I thought she was good in that. Um,
Yeah, she was good.
let me find her name to give her respect really quick 'cause I forgot it.
Let's start with an M.
I feel like it's a normally masculine name. Yeah, Dylan. Dylan
Oh,
Galula? Jalula?
not even close,
I'm
but
gonna say Galula. Uh, but yeah, she was really good. I saw her
mhm.
in, like I mentioned, Dream Scenario. I remember her in that as well. Um, but yeah, no character that's, anywhere really close.
Yeah,
So
but,
yeah, I don't know if you have anything else you wanna mention about it or you wanna get to ratings.
no, I mean, obviously, my favorite character is obviously Sky, but, no, we can get to ratings. So I gave it 4 stars, an 8 out of 10. So for reference, I gave the first one 4 as well. I think it's everything just like the first, except dialed up a little more. I do wish some of the scenes actually happened, but, I mean, like, we still kinda got to see it, so I guess it doesn't really matter, but whatever. I enjoyed it, I liked it.
Yeah, I gave it a 3.5 stars. For reference, again, I give the first one a 3.5. So, I think we both rated this the same.
Same, yeah.
So,
I just enjoyed it a little more.
yeah, like I said, great
Yeah.
scares. That performance was fantastic. That
Yeah.
was probably, like, really the standout thing of the
Yeah.
movie.
A
And
lot of
just
good
like how
horror
the
performances this year.
yeah, 100%. How they dealt with trauma in this movie too, I thought was interesting.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, a lot just plot issues that I had, some plot points that could have been used in a really cool way just don't really get explored, and then a lot of the cool stuff in the film was just not even real to begin with, which I think is
Yeah.
just lazy in terms of writing. But still pretty solid horror movie. I think there's been so much great horror this year.
Yeah.
If we start going down the list, I mean, it's
The First
insane.
Omen, Long Legs.
Yeah, I know
Uh,
Longlegs is re-releasing too.
really? I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
it's like coming out in I think next week, which is kind of
Oh
cool.
shit.
But
What other horror releases do we have this year?
Nosferatu is obviously the big
Yeah,
one.
that was like the yeah.
That movie Werewolves, that's like a random one.
And then where
Um,
the Wolfman actually probably the next one,
yeah,
January.
it's in January. Venom, if you want to count
Venom's
that,
next week.
is not horror at
Yeah,
all, but there's something horrific
yeah.
about that.
I actually want to
Um,
ask you something before we move on.
okay.
So, the director of this, Finn Parker, is going to be directing and writing the Possession remake, which is probably one of my favorite horror movies ever. I'm excited to see his take on it. I wasn't when I first heard about it. I was like, well, I don't know. I'd never seen anything, but after watching the Smile movies, like I'm on board.
Yeah,
But
I could see him doing a good job. Like, you could tell the movies are well directed, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, and like
So,
this is like the movie's already good. Like the outline's there. You know, it's not like that makes sense.
I think that's a film that relies heavily on the
Yeah,
performances. So
yeah.
as long as they cast good, like, female and male leads in that, then I think it'll do well.
I got my picks already.
Who?
Pattinson and the woman from what's her name? Tiger Lily.
No Tiger Free.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Why don't I say Tiger Lily? I should name with Tiger was in it, but that's my pick.
I know Pattinson is involved. I feel like him and Mia Goth would be cool.
Mia Goth.
That's like a very generic one to pick, I guess.
Yeah,
But, you know, they've worked together before. She's
yeah.
obviously, like, loved in the horror community. So I think that could be cool.
I would say Jennifer Lawrence, but if they're already doing like a movie like that.
What?
It's like they're like a married couple, and she starts like having psychosis or something like that, and goes
Really?
crazy.
I
Yeah,
didn't
it's
hear
coming.
anything about that.
Really? Look up. oh, It's coming out like next year, I think. Hold on, I want to make sure I'm not going crazy.
Wait, Jennifer Lawrence and Robert
Robert
Pattinson?
Pattinson, yeah.
Interesting. That sounds cool.
Hold on.
Um, yeah, look it up, I guess, just so we know you're not
Yeah.
capping.
I know he's also doing one with Zendaya.
Yeah, yeah, I saw
But
that.
that's like a little different. Let me see. Would it be on Letterbox? Oh yeah. What is it? No, that's the drama.
Potentially, potentially.
No, no, yeah. Let me just look up his name.
I'll look it up for you.
Yeah.
Let's keep
Let's
saying
keep
things
going.
into the mic so that people aren't getting bored by us
But
sitting here researching this.
yeah.
Let's
We can
see.
move into the news now, honestly, while we're looking
Is
this
it
up.
called Why Don't You Love Me?
I don't know the title.
Miserable couple, Claire and Mark, struggles through their marriage while feeling like something's not quite right in their reality.
It's both
Doesn't
that.
s- doesn't say anything about Robert Pattinson. Just says
uh,
Jennifer Lawrence. It's produced by Ari Aster.
Let me look
Whatever.
all
Doesn't
right.
matter. All right. I think we can move on now. Movie
Oh,
news?
wait, I found it.
Oh,
It's
go
called
ahead.
Die My Love.
Die My Love.
Um It's set in a remote, forgotten rural area. The story follows a mother who struggles to maintain her sanity as she battles with psychosis.
Interesting. I'll add it to
So
my
I,
watch
I
list.
wasn't a capper.
All right, good. Um,
Anyway,
yeah,
so
let's get to some movie news.
movie
It's
news.
light. It's
Yeah.
light this week. But
Um. All right, hold on. So the first thing I want to talk about, this actually came out yesterday, and it's not actually in the news Discord, but we got revealed that Tom Holland got cast in Christopher Nolan's next movie with Matt Damon, and also that it's rumored to be set in the 1920s and be a horror movie about vampires.
Yeah, I
which
completely forgot to send that,
yeah,
sorry.
is kind of insane. Like that's a lot. We got a lot of info about the movie. Um, it's cool to see Tom Holland actually. Well, this is like if he isn't good in this, dude. Like I actually don't know. He's not gonna have an acting career outside of Spider Man.
Which even if he doesn't, like, you can't really hate on that. But
No, no, I'm
honestly,
not.
he
Yeah,
has some, like, solid performances, like, Devil All the Time he was good in. Yeah,
he
that's
was.
really it. That's really
Yeah,
it. Um, but
like I'm
yeah, I
not
mean,
trying to
bro, the
listen. I
thing
can't
is,
act. I'm just saying.
like, someone like Nolan, he's not just gonna cast someone for, like, the shock of it or, like, just their
Yeah,
name, you know? He wants to make good movies with good performances.
yeah.
And I feel like the fact that Tom Holland's gonna get to work with such a great director is
And I'm assuming
is
the
really
cast
good.
is gonna be very good as well.
Yeah, because I mean, he's worked with great casts, obviously, like in the Marvel movies and
Yeah.
shit. Like, you know, the
Oh, that's
like,
probably why. I just realized. Remember there was that clip of him at Universal? People were like, "Why is he at Universal?" That was probably why.
oh, actually, yeah, you're right. People thought it was the Mario movie.
Hmm.
Um,
Damn. We
but
just like we just assumed that it was like the fucking kids movie and not like the actual talented movie.
yeah, I'm trying to think on his filmography. I don't think he's worked with a director like nearly as talented as Nolan before.
No.
So I feel like he'll be able to bring a lot out of him as an actor. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because it seems like he's gonna have a big part in it. It's not like, oh, he's just in it, you know, because he's
Yeah.
the
It seems like
second
he's in.
name to be
Yeah.
revealed. So I'm interested. I don't know if I would. I mean, don't get me wrong. Nolan vampire in the 20s sounds crazy. Sounds like something I'd really like. But I feel like there's a lot of vampire movies coming out and like in
Yeah.
development. Sinners, Nosferatu.
Sinners seems like very similar to this
Yeah,
period piece about vampires, and it seems
except
like it's set like around the 1920s.
this would be the white version
Yeah,
because Nolan only
basically.
cast white people.
People. Yeah.
But yeah, interesting. I'm really excited for this because Oppenheimer was my favorite of Nolan's
Yeah.
entire filmography, which is, you know, it's kind of
Saying a
crazy
lot. Yeah.
considering how many great films he has.
Yeah.
So it shows though that he's, you know, he's capable of doing his best work now. So I'm really excited for this.
Yeah. Um, the next bit of info we got, we actually got the first trailer for Brady Corbett's The Brutalist, which is going to be a movie about a Hungarian immigrant who escapes the Holocaust and comes to America to help uh, build New York. Apparently, this is like the most talked about movie out of all the festivals this year. I feel like Adrian Brody's being like talked about for his performance. It's 3.5 hours and with a 15-minute intermission too, which is interesting. I'm actually pretty excited for this. I think it's gonna be
Yeah,
really good.
yeah, me too. And usually I'm one that shies away from runtimes like this, but I don't know why this has quickly just become my most anticipated film of the
Yeah,
year. There's just something about it. Apparently, people are like, it's gonna change movies forever because it was made on a budget of less than 10 million, but it's supposed to look incredible and be like an epic film
yeah,
that people are gonna be like, "What are these $200 million budgets doing if you can make this with 10?" You know? And obviously his performance, Adrian Brody is an amazing actor.
yeah.
The trailer itself doesn't really reveal much, to be honest with you, but just I don't know, just like
The
the
music
continued
looked good.
hype.
The way the trailer was like edited was really good too.
Yeah, yeah, I've never seen a trailer done like that, so that was
Yeah,
interesting. Um, yeah, I'm
yeah,
just really excited to see this movie. So,
yeah. And when does it come out? I know it's sometime in December. I don't know. It
uh,
might be a limited release, low key,
it's end of December. I gotta check. I wrote it down somewhere.
because like 3.5 hour runtime, and I don't know. That might be limited.
Yeah,
Um,
could be. Well, at least we'll get it because 'cause we're in New
yeah,
York.
New York. We're flexing everybody. Anyway, the next bit of info we got was we got a story trailer to James Gunn's Creature Commandos. Looks pretty exciting. Looks pretty similar to the rest of the stuff that he does, but he's really good at it, so I'm not complaining. Um,
It
we all. Well, sorry, I don't know if
No,
you
I
want
was
to add
gonna
on that.
say, yeah, this trailer made me more excited for the series. So I didn't realize it was gonna be rated R,
Yeah,
which
I didn't know that either, which is cool.
is cool. Yeah, I like how bloody it is. It's kind of like Invincible, I guess,
Yeah.
in that way.
You know what's funny is it's actually made by the people that make those like intro things about the season before the season releases for Invisible. like where they go to
Oh,
the diner.
oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Where the animation is just, like,
it's
better than
just
the
a
actual
million times
show.
better than yeah. So it's that company that did this.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you can
Um,
see it. Clayface
but
is in the trailer
yeah, that was like
too,
probably the biggest reveal of the trailer.
which and also I like how in the trailer they're kinda hyping up, like, yeah, this is the start of the DCU. It
Yeah,
says DCU in the trailer, like, it pops up on the screen for a
yeah,
second.
it's exciting, dude. Like I don't know, like I love DC. I love the comics. Like this is the first time I feel like I've generally had hope for the DC like future. You know?
Yeah, and it's cool, it's just like a new universe just starting right in front
Yeah.
of us.
I don't know if this is a hot take, but I'm honestly way more excited for the next 5 years of DC than Marvel.
I don't think that's a hot take.
Really?
I don't know, I feel like Marvel has I don't wanna say they peaked, but it's
Nah,
starting
they
to look
peaked,
more and
dude.
more
They
like
did.
that. Like, the best is in the best is behind us in terms of Marvel. For
Yeah.
DC, we're starting so low that the best has to be ahead.
Oh yeah.
Like
Like I honestly, I mean, I'm not the biggest Reeves Superman fan of the movies, but I think that the Gunn Superman movie is gonna be like the best one.
we'll see. I really love Christopher Reeve's Superman. That original movie,
I
I
think the
really love.
performance is really good. I'm not a big fan of the movie.
It's fair. I don't know, I just like just the vibe of it overall, just something about it has a charm to it.
Yeah,
It's one of the first superhero movies. I really like it. But yeah, I could see this being the best,
yeah.
quote unquote.
We also got revealed that apparently it's gonna the end of this will lead into the events of Peacemaker season 2 and Superman, which is
Well, yeah,
interesting.
because Frank Grillo's character is in this. He's also in Peacemaker season
Peacemaker
2
2
and Superman.
and
So that's
Superman.
like the obvious connection, I
Yeah.
guess,
I wonder
between
if
the
like
2.
we'll get Superman in this at some like maybe they'll talk about him or mention him or something.
Maybe.
Because it's in the when the movie comes out, Superman's like around, like he's existed already. He's just not like a big, like this isn't his origin.
Yeah. One thing that I'm confused about a little bit is so I know James Gunn was like in reference to the old DCEU, there are gonna be some events that still happened in the DCU. For example, Rick Flag Senior's son
Son died.
actually still died.
Yeah.
So, how does Rick Flag just look like Frank Grillo in Superman and isn't, like, way older than his
Because
son?
they're not going to say how old he was when he died. They're just going to say that Peacemaker killed him.
Because he looks like about the same age as
Yeah,
his
no,
son,
but like
you
it's
know?
not like it's loose canon. So like they could just be like, oh, his son was like 18 when he died or something.
Yeah, that's true. But
Because
alright.
it's just basically just pick and choose whatever they're picking and choosing the best parts of the DCU to put forward. Like that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
Like
And
Amanda
yeah,
Waller, she's around.
I guess now's a good time to mention that. I started watching Peacemaker finally.
Oh yeah,
I'll get through it slowly. I've just been, like, so busy recently. I've barely even been watching movies, but I like it so far, you know?
yeah,
I
it's
like the
fun.
comedy. I think James Gunn's R-rated comedy is just, like, a bit much for me, I think.
Hmm.
It's, like, a little bit worse than how vulgar Deadpool is, which is, like, Deadpool's already pushing it, but the show itself, I think, is pretty good. I like John Cena, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Um,
Hopefully, season
it, it,
2 dials it back a little bit.
you didn't watch the one with Vigilante yet, right? Like he just pulls up in the first one.
No, I watched the first 2 episodes, so he's in the, second one. Decent bit.
Oh, okay. Oh, you didn't see him like fight like the prison people yet, right?
No, no.
That's like my favorite scene in the whole series, honestly.
Yeah, you mentioned it's, like, a famous scene, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for season 2. And isn't some other big character in it too?
Mm, not that I know of. I know, wasn't there rumors of, like, Bane or some shit?
That was where Grace Randolph said that season 2 was gonna have like tie into they were gonna tease Bane at the end of season 1. But
Maybe
like
he'll be in it. Who knows? Maybe she just heard some information that she read the wrong
I
way.
feel like the this is my I think how it's gonna work is like he's gonna be basically the psycho pirate of the DCEU and like remember all the events and like everyone's just gonna think he's insane. And also, I think actually you didn't reveal that yet, so I'm not gonna talk about that. But
Yeah, that would be
yeah,
a cool way to do it. In my opinion, I think the best way for them to handle it. It's just like when season 1 starts, like Peacemaker should just like address the audience. I mean, I'm sorry. When season 2 starts, Peacemaker should address the audience and just be like, "Hey, like we're in a new universe now. If you watch season 1, there's a couple things that changed. Here's them." And it just goes through like a quick rundown of what
Like
happened in season
refresher, yeah.
1, except like there's little changes. Like for example, at the end, it's David Cornsweet Superman there instead of Henry Cavill, and there's
Yeah.
like little things that change. And he's like, then he'll be like, "Oh, now you guys are caught up. All right, here's season 2," and then it just starts. I feel like
Yeah.
that would be the best way to do it.
Honestly, yeah, that wouldn't because like the movie, the TV show's like it's not a serious show. So like if they did that, it's not out of the like the opening bit is like a dance number. Like it's not that's
Yeah,
not the strangest thing. He also said they're gonna have a new dance number for season 2.
yeah. I
It's
feel
kind of
like
funny.
all but Peacemaker remembering the old universe could also work.
Work.
I
Yeah,
think
John Cena's
either
great in
way.
it too. He's really
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. But all right, let's
Yeah,
move along.
move on. Next we got revealed Paramount picked their director for the American Psycho remake, and it is Luca Guadagnino, who seems like he's just attached to everything now for some reason. Um, I think this is cool. I definitely think that this is not the movie people think it's going to be with him attached to it. Um, I feel like Patrick Bateman is definitely going to be not so straight as he was in the first one in terms of like how he acts around people and stuff. But apparently, like, isn't he not straight in the book?
I don't know, so I don't want to like talk
Yeah,
too
I'm not
much on that,
100% sure, but
but I I feel like it's supposed to be a critique on toxic masculinity.
yeah,
So it would make sense for him to
sense.
be like super straight and super manly, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna mess around with that. I don't know. I know
You don't
Luca
I feel
does
like
a
they're gonna
lot
make him
of
like bi or something.
he does a lot of like queer movies,
Movies.
you know. He has the
Yeah.
movie literally titled
Queer
Queer,
coming out. Yeah.
and there's other, you know, Call Me by Your Name. There's some
Challengers. There's just
challengers. There's
yeah.
some elements of like LGBT stuff in Bones and All.
Oh yeah, Bones and all, yeah.
Uh, you know, he's known to do stuff like that. I feel like based on that toxic masculine kind of character, I don't know if that would necessarily work in this film.
But he can still be toxic and masculine and just be bi.
I guess I feel like one part of toxic masculinity though is kind of like, yeah, I get so many girls, and like that's
Yeah,
like
but that could be like part of the thing is like he talks about that, but like in reality he just is likes dudes for some reason or something. And it's like just some like it's a critique on it, like to showing how ridiculous that he talks
yeah,
about it, you know.
that's true. We'll
It's
see.
we'll see, yeah.
Yeah, I
But
know Patrick Bateman fan casts have been
those have been
floating
going
around on
floating
Twitter.
yeah.
You have a choice or
Um, it's I posted the guy's name. I forgot, but he was going to be the Green Lantern in the DCEU. He was in American Horror Story a lot.
yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. I
Forgot
feel like
his
his name
name.
is like I feel like it starts with an F.
Yeah, I don't know, but he's my pick.
I feel like they're gonna pick Glenn Powell. I don't know why, but I would like to see
No,
Jacob Elordi do it.
I feel like it's gonna be Jacob Elordi.
Yeah, I know he met with Guadagnino.
Guadagnino
There
recently.
was
Yeah,
them getting like dinner or lunch together, but that
yeah,
was a while ago. So I don't know if that was for this
yeah.
movie.
But this could be in the works for man long. They announced this remake a while ago too. I
Yeah,
actually
that's true.
forgot about it, and then I this was the most recent thing I heard about it.
Or now maybe Jacob Elordi is playing Sergeant Rock. Did you ever think about
Low
that?
key. Yeah, I didn't think about that. He's also apparently going to direct a DCU movie, which I mean, I don't like. Whatever, dude. Like, sure, he's a talented director, so I don't,
Yeah,
talent.
I don't love him as much as everyone else does, but I do think he's talented. I think he makes unique films that I'm always like, whenever I see him directing a movie, I'm gonna go see it.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't seen Call Me by Your Name yet. It's been on my list for a while, but I just haven't
Neither
had
have
the
I.
time to like sit
But
down and watch it. Um,
I really like challenges,
yeah.
and Queer looks like it's gonna be very good too.
Hmm.
All right, now
All
we'll
right.
get the last bit of news. To the surprise of no one, Blade has been delayed indefinitely again and has no release date. There's no way this movie's being made. There's no shot. I don't understand how. Like, it's just such an easy concept. It's just a guy who kills vampires. Like, what the fuck is so hard?
The worst
I
part about all this is I feel like we're gonna lose Mia Goth in the MCU because she's supposed to be in this movie.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, no, no, I don't. Not necessarily. They'll probably make her the villain of Midnight Suns.
Maybe.
She's signed already, so I feel like
Yeah,
you know.
I feel like they're gonna make the movie, bro, honestly.
I don't. I think Mahershala's done.
I don't know. I think maybe there was
It's not.
some
It's just like it's just pathetic, dude. It's really sad.
because
Like
it was supposed to come out.
in 2019.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. They announced it in 2019.
So, but it was supposed to like the most recent release date was November 2025, and there's no director as of now. So we knew it wasn't gonna make that. So it's not like this is like huge news, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But when it says delayed indefinitely, it's probably like, all right, it's not gonna make that because we still have all this other shit going on. So where does it make sense to put it?
Well,
Not during like a huge Avengers saga where it's gonna be like Avengers 5, then Spider-Man, then Avengers 6. How are
so
you
I
gonna
mean,
fit
is
Blade into that?
Mahershala just gonna be like 60 by the time this one comes out?
So I feel like it's gonna come out like after the next two Avengers movies,
So
which will be like 2028.
2028. So 4 years from now. I don't know. I just feel like he's not gonna sit around, Mahershala.
Well, they could tell him, go do your other shit, come back in 2028 and we'll do it. We won't cast someone else's Blade.
Bro,
Unless you
that's
don't
literally
want
like
to.
if it comes out in 2028, that would be almost 10 years. That's like a Black Adam, literally, of cast. Like, didn't the Rock got cast as Black Adam like 2013?
Yeah. But but it's Blade, so it'll be worth it.
Yeah, but it's just like
Bro,
it's
bro, also like Wesley Snipes just came back as Blade, and how old is he? I mean, I will
yeah, but
say
it was
that
for
it's
like
like,
fucking 20 minutes. Like he can't like if they had him come back, he wouldn't be able to do like a whole action movie.
yeah, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I just have like dumb optimism with this one. I like want it to be
I'm like
successful
the
so
MCU
bad.
is honestly cooked, dude. Nah, they're not cooked in terms of money, but in terms of quality, like I don't know, dude. I'm not like it. You know what's really sad is like Ryan Coogler literally wrote an original story about vampires that the character happens to be black before they can even get a director attached to this movie. It's just like it's so pathetic. I don't know why it's pissed. Just because I like the Blade movies that it pisses me off so much. And Mahershala Ali is like a really talented actor. It's just such like wasted time, you know.
Yeah. It just
So
makes you wonder like
frustrating.
what is going on behind the scenes because
Yeah,
we don't know. We can only like really make assumptions.
yeah.
I don't know.
There's a lot riding on Captain America, dude.
Yeah.
That movie. If that movie bombs, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen.
Nah, it's not gonna bomb. It won't bomb,
You
but
don't think so?
nah, it's not gonna bomb. I think it'll do well financially, but it's whether or not it's gonna be good. That's what I'm more concerned about,
Well, that's not what Marvel's concerned about.
I guess. I don't know. I
Yeah.
I feel like they could tell they're kind of letting their fans down a bit, you know.
I,
Although the
I
most recent thing, Agatha, I find it pretty good. I like it.
Yeah,
So
I haven't watched. I have not that like I it's bad. Not like I've actually heard pretty positive things about it. You know, which is
yeah,
surprising for
I
a
really
show.
haven't heard many people talk negatively,
Yeah,
honestly.
because not like the MCU fans are like super. It's a show about a bunch of witches and like a gay guy. So I didn't really think that. You know how MCU people are. So I'm surprised that it's not getting like
Yeah.
hated on as much.
Yeah. Especially the most recent episode, you meet like Wiccan's boyfriend and shit.
Oh really?
And yeah, no one really said anything. Not like it's not
Oh,
Hulkling or whatever. It's like
yeah, another dude.
it's just like whoever was his boyfriend
Yeah,
before, you know.
they're gonna probably do Hulkling. I'm
Yeah,
assuming
probably.
he's like a big character. He's a big Young Avengers character. I remember I like read like a big run with them.
Yeah. You got to catch up though. I think you would enjoy the show.
Yeah, I
There's
know.
there's a lot of like cool
Like
horror practical effects stuff. Did you see that episode where there's like a demon and it's like a
I've seen like
practical?
clips of it, the demon, but
Yeah, it's really cool.
yeah.
Um,
And I like Catherine Hahn too, so
yeah, yeah. I guess now would be a
uh,
good time though to talk about another superhero show if you want. Just to talk about the Penguin
yeah.
really quick.
So me and Matt have been watching The Penguin. I think it's fucking fantastic, dude. I think it's probably the best DC show I've seen in a long time. Oh my god, man. It's just so good. Like Colin Farrell is electric as the Penguin. He's so good. And what's her name as well is I forgot. Sophia.
Sophia Falcone.
What's her name in real life? Christina something.
I forget, but she's really good.
Yeah, they're both
She's
like, oh my god, man.
I don't like what they did with her character in the most recent episode. I know I mentioned it to you.
Yeah.
I feel like
I like it, but
yeah,
it's
I
pretty.
don't
It's
want
like
to,
a yeah. We're not gonna spoil it, but
not to spoil anything, but it's kind of like I like the mafia elements of it because I'm a big fan of like, you know, obviously Goodfellas, The Godfather,
you're also
Bronx
Italian too.
Tale, and I'm Italian. Yeah, so and they also confirmed that the Penguin has TikTok on his phone.
Yeah, he's based. They also had
So
the "You're cooked" and then the "I'm cooked" line, which is pretty good.
yeah, so it's confirmed that the Penguin knows who like Big AJ is
Yeah,
and bringing the boom. I wonder what
yeah,
happened if they made videos when like Gotham flooded and
yeah.
shit.
I was gonna say you think World of T-shirts would be working for the Penguin.
I don't know. He might be like,
You'd be a drops head.
yeah, he would.
100% would be a drops head.
He'd be like, I'm from Gotham.
I'm from Crown Point.
Yeah. World of T-shirts
World of
canon
T-shirt. Yeah.
confirmed.
There's probably
Um,
like most of you listening probably have no idea what we're talking about.
yeah, but just that stupid TikTok stuff.
Stupid
Yeah, that was
TikTok.
funny.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, I really like the show.
yeah.
So
Um, yeah. It's. I hope she's in the movie though. Sophia fucking Gold,
yeah, I'm sure she will.
or she could die at the end.
I feel
Because
like
like,
even if they weren't planning on putting her in, they'll write because they didn't even start filming yet. So I feel like
yeah, they could write her in. Because
yeah.
yeah, she's mad. Did you see they changed the poster and like added her in it, like the main poster for the movie?
What? Wait.
Not movie. I'm sorry, the TV show.
Oh no, I didn't see
Like
that.
they like when the show came out and they like saw how well it was doing, they like edited the poster and like put her in it next to the penguin.
Really?
Yeah, which
Yeah,
is
because
good.
people are really liking her character.
Yeah,
So,
but
but all right, you want to move
yeah,
on now?
yeah. We'll move on to the movie you recommended. Actually,
No, we got to do our top 10.
oh, we're doing the top 10 first. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
We always do
but
it before the last movie.
I like forgot about that for a second. I'm sorry. All right, let me go to my list. I actually have two movies I wanted to mention on here that weren't on my list, but were very close. The first one was Killer Clowns. Also, by the way, this is our 80s horror movies that was the list we did, our top 10.
Top 10
Which
horror movies of the 80s.
which is arguably the best era of horror for, I mean, not up for, but they probably is one of the best eras of horror. But anyway,
hmm
um, the first one. Wait, did I say the movie? I'm sorry.
You said you wanted to mention
Yeah.
a
So
couple.
Killer Clowns was the first one I wanted to mention. I think it's really funny, and that was one of the first movies that kind of introduced me to horror because, like, it's not really that scary. It's just kind of ridiculous. But that and also uh, Little Shop of Horrors, which I haven't seen in a while. I know that's not really a horror movie, but I really like the kind of giant practical effect Venus flytrap. I think that's so cool, and it's good
hmm
music and stuff.
Yeah, we also talked about that on the podcast too.
Oh, we did? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I
I'm
thought we.
sorry. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Little Shop of Horrors. Yeah,
That's another. Have you seen that or no?
yeah, long time ago. I don't really
Uh,
remember much of it, but
yeah.
yeah, I guess you want to give 10 through 6. Start
Yeah.
us off.
Number 10, this movie you recommended to me, Society. I watched recently. 9 is the first Evil Dead.
You have nothing to say about Society?
Oh, I thought you just wanted me to rapid fire like.
No, but say like you could say like a
Oh,
little
all right.
bit, you know,
So
like 10.
Society, you
Yeah.
introduced me to. Um, really really good body horror. Just kind of slow, like the plot's a little slow. When they do the body horror, it's amazing. The ending's crazy. Um, the number 9 is the first Evil Dead. This was another kind of introduction to me because I've always loved Sam Raimi from the Spider-Man movies, and this is like my introduction to his horror stuff. So it's a big inspiration for a lot of the stuff that I watch now. Um, Number 8, Child's Play, which was I love Chucky now, but as a kid I was fucking terrified of Chucky. Man, I think you were too actually.
Yeah, I was
We
horrified
were,
of
we
him.
were like, oh my god. But yeah, I love he's fucking hysterical. I love Chucky. Number 7 was Hellraiser. Um, how I like I don't know. Cenobites are sick. The kills are really good. Save your tears for suffering. What is his line?
S-
Save your
Uh,
tears for suffering.
Save your tears. It's a good waste of suffering, or something
Suffering.
like that. Something like that.
No, what? Yeah, whatever the line is. And then this might be a hot take, but number 6, I have Nightmare on Elm Street. I feel like a lot of people would have it a lot higher. I still really like it. Freddy's sick. Um, I just feel like some of them are a little cheesy, but they're all really, really good franchise.
Fair. Fair. All right. I'll
What'd
go
you
through
think?
mine now. It's not bad. I'm Nightmare on Elm Street at 6 is definitely a hot take,
Yeah,
but I understand because
it's
there is so much good horror.
yeah. It's
So
not like that it's a bad movie. It's more just like there's just a lot in the 80s.
yeah. But all right. So
Yeah,
to start things off for me at number 10, I actually have Friday the 13th Part 6. Jason Lives.
I was not expecting that.
Strange to have a part 6 on this list, but I think this is the best Friday the 13th movie. Super goofy, just the introduction of Jason at the beginning. He basically gets struck by lightning and comes to life and murders
Really?
someone. Lots
That's
of
kind
cool
of funny.
kills. Just I don't know, it's my favorite of the
Yeah,
franchise. Number 9, I have Videodrome, directed by David Cronenberg.
that's on my list. I haven't
Lots of
watched it.
cool body horror. It basically is about this dude who like finds out about this weird TV show that they're torturing people on, airs it on his channel, gets mad popular. He starts, digging into the show, finds out all this weird shit's going on. Maybe it's more real than he thought, whatever. Really cool body
Mhm.
horror, cool scenes. Love Cronenberg. Number 8, I have Child's Play. You mentioned it already, but
Yeah,
Chucky is up there with one of my favorite slasher icons. He's hilarious, but when I was a kid, he was fucking terrifying.
yeah, bro.
And the like dolls for some reason always got
It
to me as
fucked
a
us,
kid.
yeah. But
Yeah.
remember, like they put the Chucky head on that like little animatronic guy that used to take off his head. Do you remember that when we were
Yeah.
younger? And we
Yeah.
freaked out.
It's like the stupidest mask too,
Yeah,
but anyways.
but
Number 7, I actually have A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. Honestly, almost as good as the original. It's another example like we talked about Terrifier 3 in terms of final girls really fighting back. And it has Heather Langenkamp as my favorite final girl, Nancy Thompson, and her and a group of teens basically go into the dreams to fight Freddy in the dreams, which is a cool
cool
concept in
concept.
this
Yeah,
world. And it's just really funny, great movie.
yeah,
Uh, Number 6, I have the original Hellraiser. You also mentioned it. The Cenobites are
yeah,
awesome. I love Pinhead.
yeah,
And another underrated final girl, Kirsty Cotton.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, love how graphic it is. And yeah, so you want to give number 5?
Yeah. Number 5, I have American Werewolf in London. I watched this movie this year because I was going to London. Really good practical effects. I actually thought it was funny, and it was cool seeing like the ending's really cool with the werewolf in like the middle of London. I kind of don't like it's very like dog like in this. It's not doesn't stand on its hind legs. It's more just like runs around, but still, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's something about that movie is like the transformation scene is so
It's so
iconic
cool. Yeah,
and
dude.
it's really cool, but the actual werewolf design I didn't love,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
Yeah.
But all right. Number 5 for me, I have another Cronenberg, The Fly, starring Jeff Goldblum. Just a disgusting film. It goes into sci-fi, which is another genre that I really love. And it's basically what if this guy was inventing teleportation and a fly got into the device with him and then their DNA kind of got mixed together. Turns into this
Yeah.
really weird, disgusting creature. It's a cool movie. It's funny. It's got like that Cronenberg kind of flair on it. So
Yeah.
really love it.
Okay. Number 4, I actually have The Fly as well. You summed it up. Cronenberg is just great with his body horror. Jeff Goldblum is fantastic in this. I actually watched The Fly 2 recently, but it wasn't as bad as I expected. But it's about
Yeah,
like his son and like uh the son like because he's part fly like is dying like mad fast. It's like about that.
interesting. Yeah, something
Yeah,
called The Fly too doesn't necessarily sound the best, but
yeah, no, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. Anyway, you want to
yeah.
go for your 3?
or yeah, 4. I'm up to, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, you're good. So number 4 for me, I have John Carpenter's The Thing. Very famous body horror film. Deals a lot with what isolation does to people. Kurt Russell was great. Great
Yeah,
creature design. Just a classic.
yeah. I also have The Thing as number 3 as well. You again, you summed it up, but uh, I feel like it's another one that I watched this pretty early on into my I watched this like when I was younger. I feel like Grandpa showed this to me. So another movie that I saw when I was really young and just had a heavy impact on me. And this is kind of my introduction to body horror. I mean, funny that this was like probably arguably the best body horror movie ever. But yeah,
Yeah, it's great. I honestly expect that to be higher for you. I'm surprised. I don't
I
know what
mean,
2 are ahead of it, but,
really,
honestly, I think I do actually, but
I feel like you do.
I feel like my number 3 is your number 2, but
Yeah,
I'll say it.
yeah,
Number 3, I actually have Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. It is a film that is super well made because it's Kubrick,
I forgot about
and
that.
damn, left it
Yeah,
off your list. Jack
yeah,
Nicholson gives an iconic performance. There's so much iconic imagery from this movie, whether it's the twins, the blood from the elevators, even the pattern of the rug that's used in, like, horror
yeah.
movies now. Even that was even
That
referenced in The
was in the
Substance.
substance. Yeah,
Yeah, and another one, here's Johnny breaking through the door with the axe. That was referenced in Terrifier. So, you
yeah.
still see this movie having an impact
That's
that
referenced in
is
so many things. The person with the axe.
yeah. But I'm just saying, like, that's, like,
Yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
recently
No,
that
no,
had
yeah,
it.
yeah. Damn,
But
I'm gonna
yeah,
get cooked in the fucking comments for not having this on
yeah.
my list, dude. Forgot.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right.
It's not like traditional 80s
No,
schlock
yeah,
horror that you think of.
yeah,
That's probably why you forgot it, but
yeah. But number 2. So this is probably the best movie on my list, like in terms of like quality, is Possession. Um, directed by I'm I'm gonna butcher his name. Andrzej Zalowski. Two like really iconic performances. It's not a traditional horror movie, I'd say, but again, really cool like body horror and just the performances are fucking amazing in this.
yeah, I feel
Uh,
like it's kind of a topic that I don't wanna say ahead of its time, but I
yes,
feel like you
no, you're
just
100% right.
just like how weird it is, like, this
Yeah,
girl's having sex with, like, this
this
weird
weird creature.
monster,
Yeah,
and it's something that you'd think of that would come out, like, now,
now, yeah,
not in the
yeah,
'80s, so it's a really cool movie.
yeah.
Didn't make my list, spoiler, but
Damn, I'm surprised actually.
yeah, I prefer, like, the goofy shit, I feel
Yeah,
like.
that's fair. No, I mean, that's fair. I like both.
Yeah, but alright, number 2 for me is Evil Dead 2, directed by Sam Raimi. Um, Raimi is one of my favorite directors, especially for horror. Just love how batshit insane this movie is. Bruce Campbell gives an iconic performance, and it's like hilarious at the
Yeah,
same time as being grotesque, which is a perfect match for me.
yeah.
So,
My number 1 is Evil Dead 2. Sam Raimi's probably one of my favorite directors. I think it perfectly encapsulates like the 80s horror, like where you get the good comedy, but also the good kind of like gore and body horror stuff. So it's like, I think it's a good representation of 80s horror.
well said.
Yeah. Thank you.
Uh, so yeah, my number 1 is A Nightmare on Elm Street, directed by Wes Craven. Wes Craven, I think, is just a genius in horror. He made not only Nightmare on Elm Street, but he made the Scream
Scream.
franchise
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And Freddy Krueger is my favorite slasher. Nancy Thompson's my favorite final girl. I just think the idea is so cool about you can't escape this person even in your sleep.
Yeah.
And just the fact that Freddy was the first kind of slasher to have that humor to him, which is another reason, like, why, we talked about Terrifier. I like Art the Clown a lot because you see, Michael Myers, Leatherface, Jason, they're very, like, stoic killers. Having this guy who not only kills you, but, like, fucks with you
Fucks
while
with
he's
you.
doing
Yeah.
it is, like, such a cool concept, and it makes him
Yeah.
that much scarier. So,
Yeah.
that's my number 1.
Yeah. A couple because now I feel like now I'm looking at the letterbox thing and like there's so many movies that like I didn't even. I have to shout out at least the Poltergeist. We didn't even mention that. That's another really good one. The Reanimator. Gremlins came out during that time too. Christine. Jesus, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch to horror on here, and I want to name a couple that I missed also.
Yeah.
Puppet Master, it's a random one, but I like that franchise in general. What else we got? Pumpkinhead, I guess I'll give that a mention.
Oh, Demons. I forgot that one as well. That's like the
Ran
Italian Evil Dead.
Yeah. Random Monster Squad, I don't know if you've ever seen that. That's
Oh,
kinda
I've
like a
heard of that.
horror comedy, it's kinda
Yeah.
fun. Has, like, a bunch of the classic monsters in it. What else should I mention? The rest you Scanners, that's another David
Yeah.
Cronenberg. Um, yeah, I feel like we went through
Yeah,
most of
we
them,
pretty
though.
much covered it
Oh,
all.
Critters? That's an underrated movie, bro. Remember I showed you that
Critters?
scene from it?
Yeah, like insane fucking explosion thing.
Where
Yeah.
the critters are just, like, laughing in the ship and just, like, absolutely blow up an entire crib for no reason. Like, they already left, and the guy's like, "Well, at least our house is still survived," and it goes to the critters, and they're like, "Ha, ha, ha," and just blow up his entire house. Mad funny. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up that scene. Or
No.
I might, include this in a TikTok or something,
Yeah,
but
I feel like you have to because like not a lot of people are gonna know what we're talking about.
yeah. Um,
But
Texas
yeah,
Chainsaw Massacre 2 also. It's, they went in a
I've
different
never seen that.
direction from the original. It kinda becomes like a full-on comedy.
Really?
So,
Oh,
yeah,
shit. The
but
Blob too. I forgot.
yeah, this 80s has so much good
It's
horror.
ridiculous, dude. Oh my
It's
god.
between that the
I mean,
70s is
I
really
just want to
good
look at the
too, but
'70s quick, just to
go for
see.
it. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up the, synopsis of the next movie while you
Yeah,
do that.
yeah. Halloween, The Exorcist, Jaws, Carrie, Suspiria, The Omen. The horror icons are definitely more of the '80s.
Yeah, like the rise of the slasher, I think,
Yeah,
was the
this
80s.
yeah, this is tough. I think the better made movies are probably the '70s, but the more enjoyable ones are the '80s.
Yeah, because think about it, because like, '79, I think, was Halloween.
Yeah,
He was kinda the first slasher.
first, yeah, because these are like most of these have like Texas Chainsaw, The Exorcist, Jaws, Carrie. Those are kind of I don't want to say elevated horror, but like
It's
kind
not
of
goofy. It's
not
not like
goofy. Yeah,
yeah,
like it's deeper than just stupid like kill. You know what I mean?
yeah, but alright, I guess that's a good transition to
Yeah,
the last film of the
love
day,
that.
which
Yeah,
I recommended last episode. Just to go with the general vibe of Halloween time, this is arguably the best horror film ever made, and it's one of my favorite, if not my favorite. I think this
yeah,
and Nightmare on Elm Street are neck and neck for me,
yeah.
but it is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974, directed by Toby Hooper. Um, yeah, this is a film that is both disgusting
Interesting.
and vile, but also is just like very well
It's-
made and super
Yeah,
elevated
yeah.
in a way that you wouldn't expect from a horror film made during this time, you know?
Hmm.
But I'll read a little synopsis here.
Yeah.
So it's a very short one, but also the tagline, "Who will survive and what will be left of them?" I feel like that's a really famous
Yeah.
tagline. It's on a couple of the posters, but
Yeah. I like how
so
also it's the text is like it's not one, it's chain, like it's two words, right? In this one.
yeah, it's weird because the official title is Chainsaw as
Yeah.
separate words, but on the poster it says Chainsaw. So I don't really
Yeah.
know which one is
It's like when I
correct.
was trying to look it up, like I kept finding like the 2010. It was like Chainsaw 3D. I was like, what the fuck? Like I like kept trying to look for it.
Yeah. Um,
But
but yeah,
anyway,
anyways, here's the synopsis. A group of 5 young friends face a nightmare of torment at the hands of a depraved Texas clan. I feel like that's such a vague synopsis of the
synopsis.
movie,
Yeah.
but it's basically like a group of teens are in Texas. They're driving on a road trip. They're in a van, and they end up at the house of a family that they basically just get unlucky, and the
No.
family
Yeah.
happens to be
Speak
cannibals,
cannibals.
and
Yeah.
Leatherface lives there, and it's about sort of them their, like, terror and their
Yeah.
helplessness in that situation.
Yeah.
Um,
This is gonna sound like very weird, but a lot of these scenes where the women are being like taken away and like fighting, like the screams in those scenes, like are very reminiscent of like when I have to like hold people down to give them a shot like that. It's very weird that I'm like saying that, but it's just like that kind of like terror. Like it's just so well made in this movie. Like you really feel like their like hopelessness and like their fear. Like it's just so visible.
Yeah, and that's something that I love so much about this movie is just how
Yeah,
it's able to display hopelessness.
yeah,
It's crazy. It's unlike any film I've ever seen before.
yeah, yeah.
Like, there is a scene or a sequence towards the end where basically it's Sally Hardesty, she's the final girl of this movie. She's just, like, running from Leatherface and screaming for, like, 20 minutes straight,
Minutes. Yeah,
and you
the
just,
last
like,
20.
she's so
Yeah,
helpless. You're like,
yeah.
"Holy shit." Her
She's
getting
like limping
dragged.
down the fucking driveway. You just see like Leatherface just they're like fucking with her. Like,
Yeah, she jumps out of a window to try to escape.
yeah,
Something that I really like about this movie is that there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that sort of, like, is almost incorporated into the movie in a way,
really?
and, like, apparently the conditions of this film being filmed were some of the worst ever on any film set in history. The guy who
Really?
played the hitchhiker said that he would rather, like, serve in Vietnam again than film again for this movie.
What the fuck happened
It was filmed in Texas,
in the
and
summer? It was like
during a
mad
heat
hot.
wave.
Yeah.
The average temperature was over 100 degrees.
Jeez.
Because of how low the budget was, they only had, like, 1 set of clothes for each person that they couldn't wash. So by the end of filming, I think it was 4 weeks, they said it just, like, smelled completely disgusting. Like,
Oh,
people were passing out from the smell. The dinner scene had actual rotting food and dead animal carcasses.
Jesus.
I read also that the guy who plays Leatherface, Gunnar Hansen,
Yeah.
at one point got, like, so engrossed in the role just because of, like, this situation he
See,
was in,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
he probably was fucking
Put him
hallucinating.
hallucinating. I
At one
felt like
point,
Leatherface.
they, like, told him to kill Sally for the scene or whatever, and he
Yeah.
dead ass said, like, "I actually, like, in that moment, like, I literally wanted to kill her." Like,
Jesus.
actually.
Damn.
Just so it's just insane, and I kinda although obviously that's fucked for the actors, like,
No.
it just makes
It's
the
like
whole
the whole
story of the
story
movie
more
so
interesting.
much
Yeah.
more,
I had no
interesting and
idea, dude. That's crazy.
yeah,
Honestly,
it's
though, like I can see, like, because you're just ingrained in that environment, and like this isn't a fake set; it's all real. Everything in there around you is real.
yeah, it makes everything feel so real,
Real.
you know?
Yeah, yeah,
I and for some reason, this movie also made me, like, uneasy while I think a lot of Sally getting chased, that whole section just, like, it,
yeah.
like, kinda rubbed me the wrong way, I don't know, I in, like, a good way, though.
No, I know
But,
what you mean. Yeah, like it's the way that they portray the helplessness really gets to you.
yeah, like, I think probably my favorite scene is the dinner scene, just
Where
because
they're all screaming and shit.
she's
Yeah,
tied down, she's screaming and crying, everyone's kinda they're all so insane, they're like these hillbillies, they
please.
don't
Yeah,
they're just, like, laughing, they're fucking around with her, they feed the blood to, like, the grandpa.
yeah. That I was gonna say that was my probably favorite scene.
It's, like, nasty, but
Nasty. Yeah,
he that's, like, the one goofy part
yeah,
of
yeah.
his character. He gets brought back in other films, it's, like, more lore to him, low
Really? I thought
key.
he was dead when I first saw him, dude.
Nah, he, like, survives by eating people's blood and shit. It's really
Uh,
weird.
yeah.
I
Also,
like how
is it?
everyone's just like a
Oh, sorry.
hillbilly. It's just like
Yeah, it's just like fucking. I don't know if it's. I was just saying, is Leatherface supposed to be like autistic?
yeah, I think and this is something that separates him from other famous killers is, like, he has some type of
Delay.
mental handicap.
Yeah,
So, it's not, like, really his fault. It's just him being influenced by the
influenced by his
people around
family. Yeah,
him. Yeah.
yeah.
So, it makes for a very interesting character, although on the outside, he is just a brute, you
Brutal.
know?
Yeah, he's a force. He's huge, bro. Like he's a big ass dude with a chainsaw. He's not. Like, he's tall. I don't know how tall the guy is, but
I know I read also that he wore, like, heels to make himself even taller. And one scene, he, like, was running out the door and smashed his head like, the top of a door frame and, like, knocked himself out.
Jesus.
Yeah. There's just, like,
What's it?
so much behind the scenes shit.
Yeah, that's interesting. He wore heels because butchers used to wear heels, like
Oh,
when
to,
they
like,
used to.
not
Yeah,
step in
not
the blood or
blood.
something.
Yeah,
That's
I wonder
cool.
if that was like a. I don't know, but
Maybe. Yeah, there's
um,
something so, like, visceral about the kills. Like, even that first kill where
yeah.
he bludgeons that guy with the mallet.
Just kills him instantly and just yeah,
Yeah,
like
it was
something
just like
about him just it was just
It
No,
felt very
like,
realistic,
realistic, yeah,
that
like,
kill, yeah.
there was no, like, music or, like, like, cut it was just they smacked him and he just dropped to the floor like a body.
Yeah, and
Like,
when his body's, like,
he's
twitching
he
on the floor.
yeah, I thought he was shaking him, but I guess he's probably having a seizure because he hit his head,
Yeah.
but, yeah, it was very, like, disturbing, and then just, like, takes him in and just slams the door and then just cuts, like, nothing.
Yeah, him slamming the door is also a really cool shot,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's kind of a famous shot.
yeah.
The guy who played how much do you think he was paid? The guy who played Leatherface?
When did this come out? 79?
74.
74? Oh, $50?
No, it's not that little.
Oh, like,
800 bucks.
I
Imagine doing this for 800 bucks.
$100 for 4 weeks.
They
Jeez.
said some of the actors by, like, the last week of filming, their blood was, like I mean, their, clothes were so soaked in blood that they were, like, basically rock solid. Like, dude, can you imagine, like, the stench on that
Yeah.
set?
At that point, I would just buy a fucking different shot. That's crazy.
They said also that, the dinner scene was supposed to be filmed at night, but it was in the day, so they put, like, these huge black sheets over all the windows.
Oh, so it probably got mad hot.
No AC, insanely hot, rotting food on the table, dead
Yeah.
animal carcasses.
Bro, that's like Jared Leto's dream acting scenario, bro. Everything is real right in front of him.
Yeah. He should be cast in the when they do
No,
the remake.
yeah, bro. They are? They're doing a remake?
Nah, nah.
Oh,
I'm sure they will eventually.
yeah,
They did that Netflix one, which I
yeah.
kinda liked, but people hated.
I just
Uh,
feel honestly, this is one that I watched and I'm like, I don't know how they would top this. There's no way.
yeah, like, where
It's
do you go from here?
yeah, there's no like
It's such a product of its environment, like, how it
yeah,
was made. Like, it would just feel wrong to make this with, like, a big studio and all this money and, like,
yeah.
clean sets and everything. It wouldn't capture that same
I
feel.
agree. I completely agree. Yeah, like it should not be touched. This is one of the, and I'm not a big hater of remakes, but this is one I believe should not be touched.
Although they made, like,
They've made like
10
fucking a million of them. Yeah,
they made, like, 10 of them or
are any of
something.
them like any of the sequels good? I haven't watched any of them.
Some of them are, like, okay. One of them
Yeah.
has a young Matthew McConaughey in it. He just
Wow.
plays, like, this insane guy.
What if they cast Glenn Powell as the next Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
They could.
Said
They
he's
could
from
cast
Texas.
they could cast The Rock also. That's my
Yeah.
go-to for all these. Yeah, but I don't know. This is like you said, I don't know if they should really touch
Yeah, I
this
don't think they
again.
should, man.
Like, it's just so hard to top. I love
Yeah, bro.
Leatherface's look too. I like the when he
Yeah.
wears the, like, the female
The female
face,
face, yeah.
like, the makeup.
Very reminiscent. Like I feel like Long Legs definitely took inspiration from that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in terms of yeah,
Like
that
the
look
look,
for
yeah.
sure.
But
Did you have a favorite scene? I forgot if you mentioned it.
probably the first kill I really, really enjoyed. And also the dinner scene too was really good. That
Yeah.
whole I mean, honestly, the last 20 minutes, like when she meets the dad from then on is like peak.
Yeah. Even
Oh
till the
man, yeah.
last shot, dude, him
Yeah.
and
Him
it's such a
running with the
fame
chainsaw at the
dude,
end,
like,
like
he
just waving
chases
it
her
around.
all the way into the street
Jeez. Yeah, bro.
and just, like yeah, her in the back of that pickup dri that's such a
Yeah.
cool shot, like, the pickup truck
Yeah.
driving away, and she's just, like, crying and screaming, and then it cuts to him, and he's waving his
Waiting
chainsaw
the
around.
chainsaw around, yeah.
Just such a
It just
cool
ends,
scene.
yeah. Yeah. Did this do well, like, financially when it came out?
I don't know, honestly. I feel like
I mean, I
probably
feel like
not.
it had to if it made, like,
I
to have all these sequels and
well, they
shit.
made a sequel. I don't know, honestly, because a lot of
Mm,
people I think a lot of people thought it was, like, based on a true story. It's not. It's, like, it
yeah.
takes some inspiration from real life, like, murdered
S
families
stuff, yeah.
and things, but it's not actually based on a real story, but back then, I feel like it was easy for people to believe that, so
Yeah.
that might have
They
propelled
probably
it to
just
do
did that for
well.
marketing and shit.
Or you know what? I think it did do well. I actually saw it was, like, the highest grossing independent horror film until Halloween came out or something.
Wow. Wait, I
So
didn't know the oh, wow. So wait, I'm a fucking idiot. All these horror icons were all independent until, like, they got big.
mhm, yeah,
Damn.
because that wasn't, like it was a
Yeah,
new
that
thing,
wasn't it.
you
Yeah,
know?
you're right, yeah.
But,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah, I don't
this was one that I watched as a kid and, like, I feel like I didn't really appreciate it enough. Like,
yeah,
because it's not on the surface level, it's not, like, super scary, I guess, but, like, it's more like the situation and the environment that they're in that make it scary. And I feel like as an adult, you obviously understand that better than as when you're fucking 12.
Yeah, there's no jump scares in the movie.
Yeah.
But I honestly probably think it's the scariest movie ever. That
Yeah.
might be a hot take. I don't know. A lot of people share that opinion.
Mm.
But just in terms of like the situation,
Situation, yeah. Yeah.
imagine just being that helpless. All your
That's
friends are dead around
dead.
you. You're tied at a
Mm.
table, and all you can do is run while this huge guy chases you with a
With
chainsaw.
chainsaw, yeah.
No one around to help. It's just like imagining yourself in that situation
Yeah.
just is
It's very
so
terrifying.
unnerving. Yeah, and
Yeah.
terrifying.
This was I'm glad you recommended this because this is something I really needed to rewatch that I have not. That I probably wouldn't have for a while if you didn't recommend it.
Yeah, it's perfect for the season. And I
Yeah.
think Leatherface himself isn't like he's good, but he's not what this franchise is and like what makes this movie so
Yeah.
good, which I
Yeah.
think separates it a little bit
Oh,
from the
yeah,
others.
I agree.
Because like, Nightmare on Elm Street wouldn't be the same without
Without
Freddy,
Freddy, yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
But although I'm not to downplay Leatherface, but there
Yeah.
are just like other elements that
Yeah.
bring this movie up so
So
much.
what if I don't? So I know that they shouldn't touch in terms of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but you can take the concept of like the hopelessness of this movie and turn it into something else. I feel like that's what people should really look at.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. There are
Not,
some movies
I'm
like
not
that.
saying like everyone go fucking pitch their own movie for this. I'm saying if like that, if they went on that route, and it doesn't even have to be connected to that movie, but just like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre style movie set, let's say somewhere else or like now or
Yeah.
that would be the way to do it, not remaking those or trying to remake it.
Yeah, I agree. Another movie that reminds me of this is actually like Funny Games a little bit in terms of like the family
Uh,
being locked
yeah,
up and
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
their desperation, like begging
desperation.
not to kill the kid, and
What about this? Might be a hot take. What about Killing of a Sacred Deer?
yeah, and similar,
Similar vibes. Yeah,
but it's different in the way that it's not like a person physically
person. Yeah,
holding,
yeah. It's not a. Yeah, that's true. Now we got Leatherface and Fortnite.
Yeah, I'm hyped.
I was told.
Best,
Remember, I told that's a lot of kids' first exposure to Leatherface is going to be in Fortnite, which is kind of crazy.
yeah,
And Jigsaw too.
yeah,
But
all right, I think
yeah,
favorite characters. I really like Sally.
Sally. Yeah,
I like Leatherface a lot. I also underrated character. I like the hitchhiker a lot. I thought he had a great scene with like his first introduction.
yeah, with the knife.
Yeah, and he's talking about how he worked on the in the slaughterhouse and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Just a really cool kind of like this character shows up and you're like, all right, what's really going on here? Like shit isn't as, as
Yeah.
normal as it seems. Like there's some weird shit going on. But yeah, if I had to pick one, I'd probably say Sally Hardesty. Yeah, I picked up Dad talking right there, Joe.
I muted the mic. Just told him to record it.
No, that's all right. It's all right. He could have a little cameo
Yeah.
in this episode.
Guy get a cameo.
All right, you wanna say your favorite character? I don't know if you just said.
Yeah, I mean Sally, but Leatherface too. It's
It's close. Yeah, he's obviously like the iconic one.
Yeah.
But all right, I guess we can get to ratings. So
I gave it. Oh, you want to start? Yeah, you go.
Yeah, I'll start off. So the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I gave it 4.5 stars. I think it's probably one of the 2 best horror films ever made. Definitely top 3. I think it's the scariest movie ever made, in my opinion. Love Leatherface. Love just the peak desperation and hopelessness that's displayed in this film. That's really unlike any other film that I've ever seen. And just the whole behind the scenes of everything that I know you didn't know a lot about it, but to go.
Yeah.
It makes the experience of watching the film and seeing that sort of translated.
I wish I knew that.
Much, like, it just like makes it so much more interesting and that much more enjoyable. So
yeah, I gave it a 4.5 stars, so 9 out of 10. It's probably the greatest and one of the greatest American horror movies ever made, if not the greatest. It's a testament of its time, and like Matt said, it's very, very hard to replicate that. Like in today, like I feel like it should not be touched. And this is one I really didn't appreciate when I was younger. This is kind of new for me. Like now, I kind of want to watch the other ones. I know it's not going to be anything close to that, but you know, but yeah.
Yeah, the second one is good in its own ways, but it's definitely different.
Yeah.
So,
What
but
about
all right.
Texas Chainsaw 3D?
Yeah, that one's fucking ass.
I
Bro,
can.
a
I
lot of
mean,
them are really bad.
yeah. Nah, I
Honestly.
could imagine. Yeah.
There's like a couple sets of remakes. There's one with Alexandra Daddario. That one's like not bad.
That's
I
sad
think
though to see like a movie like that kind
yeah, it's
of. Yeah.
fucking I think she's like his brother in it or something. Or like I'm sorry, he's her brother.
Brother. Oh, okay.
And like
I don't like that though.
there's one with Jessica Biel. This
Is she good or like she's helping him in that one?
I think
Like,
it's like she got abandoned basically by the mother when she was
oh, they're
little and
not
like
okay. That's kind of. I don't know what the point of them being siblings is then.
just like for the blood relation, I
Yeah,
guess.
I guess.
I think she ends up helping him. I forget, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Whatever. All right, so I guess before we wrap up, we could
Answer some questions.
do some Q&A stuff. Now, I have
Yeah.
a couple from Instagram.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have some from Instagram this week.
So, I'll read the first one here from at sophia.k.ua. Hasn't asked us a question in a while, but appreciate you sending one in because you were our biggest supporter and question asker at the beginning. So, the question is, if you were hosting a Halloween themed movie party, what would be your top 3 movie picks? Now that's an interesting question. There's a lot
Yeah.
of routes you can go with that.
Yeah.
I feel like I would probably start it as like goofy and then work my way up to being more and more scary.
When people
I
just,
feel
like
like
start to chill out at the end of the night.
maybe I'd do like start it off with like a leprechaun, you know,
Oh, that silly? Okay.
straight silly. That's my first one.
Okay.
Start off with like a leprechaun. Then make things a little crazier. Get like a fucking an Evil Dead 2 in there. A
Okay.
little bit crazier, still funny. Then we'll end it off with like Sinister. So
Okay. Okay.
out of nowhere, it
All
just
right.
gets all of a sudden you're scared. I'm pretty sure Sinister was rated like the scariest horror movie of all time based on like people's heart rate during watching it or something.
Honestly, like I watched that when I was like 16, so I was like definitely older, and that scared the fuck out of me. I remember like not being able to sleep that night.
Yeah,
That was
that
the
was
last
really
time a movie made me not be able to sleep. Like that fucking shook me to my core. That movie. That it
what
probably is the scariest movie I've seen. But all right, anyway, let me go. So first, I like your recipe. I do have Evil Dead 2 as my number 2, but the first one I'd put on is actually Gremlins. I think that's like kind of like a cute kind
yeah, that's a good
of
choice.
yeah. And then to end off, this is tough. I'd probably have to do either like maybe like Hereditary, or I mean Sinister's good too, or maybe one of the Insidious movies. I feel like one of the like 2010s horrors.
Yeah, like a Conjuring maybe.
Yeah, like something like that. Like
The
because if
original
I'm
Conjuring.
let's be honest, if me and you throw on like fucking I don't know, uh Suspiria or some shit like that, no one's gonna be checking. You know, like not really everyone's
Yeah, yeah.
taste.
Yeah.
Also, actually, you know what? I take that back. You know what I'd put on?
What?
Late Night with the Devil.
All right. That's a good pick. No, they used AI. No, you can't.
Actually, no, fuck that. I take it back. Um,
You would get canceled.
I would. You know what? What about Terrifier 2?
Okay. That's a good one. That would get people to leave the
Yeah,
party. That's a good
yeah.
one.
Or I could make everyone take like LSD and put on Mother.
Yeah,
That
that
would
would
be
actually be fire.
that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a good question though. I
yeah.
also
That
wanna
was an awesome question.
I was
Thank you.
also thinking maybe like Hocus Pocus or like Halloween Town to
Oh
start.
yeah,
That could
yeah.
be like a good one just
That's a
to
good one.
but I feel like we like horror a lot more
Yeah,
than like Halloween vibe
Halloween
movies.
people.
So,
Coraline would be a good one too.
yeah. But
Yeah.
all right. There's a couple more questions here. I got to just address this question. I don't
What?
This person asked this question like twice. It's from at my_cat_review films. They just say monkey or apes. I'm not really
Apes.
sure what that means.
Apes.
What is the question though?
Monkey or apes?
Yeah,
Apes.
but
I'm
like,
picking apes, dude.
like
Monkeys
the
are like chill, like they vibe out and shit. But apes are fucking like apes are sick, dude.
is that supposed to be a movie related question? Like, are
I
they
have
talking
no
about
idea. I think they're
Planet of
just
the
talking about.
Apes?
I think
I
they're
would
just
choose a
talking about.
monkey, bro. Honestly,
Or are we talking about as like a pet or just like in general?
I don't know. But they asked the question twice, so I feel like they really
Is
want to
that like
know.
a? Is there a movie with a monkey? Like Planet of the Apes, yeah. But like I'm trying to think of a movie with a monkey in the title.
Monkey Man?
Monkey Paw.
I don't know. I'll choose
Yeah,
monkey. I'm just gonna go
I'll choose
monkey.
ape.
All
Thanks,
right.
I guess, for that
Yeah.
question.
Thanks for the question. If you're listening, give us some more context, and
Yeah, I
maybe
kind of
we'll
want to
be
know
able
the context behind that.
to
Yeah.
answer that better. But all right. So this one's from at Tyler Najara on Instagram. Which movie character do you hope to see one day in Fortnite? Now that's a great
That's a
question.
fucking. What's that person's name again?
Tyler Najara. That's
Tyler
my
Najjar.
buddy.
That's a fucking great question, dude. Can I go TV show or no? I have to go.
I'll go. I would say you could go TV show.
Okay, so I've been dying for them to add Luffy, but from a movie, easily Freddy Fazbear.
Yeah. Honestly,
Yeah.
I really would like to see Ghostface.
That's probably gonna happen. They already
I
have
feel like
Leatherface.
Ghostface style would work for Fortnite because he's
Yeah,
got the
it's
mask.
perfect for that. Yeah,
Like
like the.
I like Freddy the best, but you saw how they kind of butchered Leatherface's face
Mhm.
in his Fortnite model.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
Freddy would kind of be a similar thing. I think the
I don't know because I
Ghostface.
feel like Freddy they would be able to collab with the movie, so like it'd have to be like whatever it's in the movie.
Yeah, I guess.
I wanted an Ash Williams, but we got that already.
Yeah.
Trying to think
Or
like
I,
what.
or I'd put in like Schindler from Schindler's List. I would
Oh
probably
yeah, I'd
put
put
him in.
in the what's her name, Jenny Sparkle from the Substance.
Yeah, that
And
would be
every time I
fire.
get a kill, like she gets more and more like the monstrosity at the end.
You never know with Fortnite, really.
Yeah, yeah.
But all right, yeah. Thanks for the
Yeah.
question. That was
Thank
a
you. That
good
was a
one.
great question. Yeah.
Let's see. We got a couple more. From Anton_Kino Love on Instagram. What is the reason for the complete failure of the film Joker Folie à Deux? So we talked about
Um.
Joker on the last
Yeah, we
episode,
did
but
talk about that,
you
but
could go ahead, Joe.
my opinion, it's a combination of them marketing it as not as a musical, and the target audience being mostly people that like comic books, and just honestly, just bad reception. It just wasn't that good, honestly. Everything else about it, like the production design, the music great, but like I don't know, people wasn't really like what people wanted. It didn't really feel like it was necessary or
Yeah,
like
it
different
wasn't.
enough for it to
The reason why
exist.
it failed was because it wasn't made for the general audience.
Yeah, yeah,
So no one went to see it because they heard bad things, because they heard musical, because,
yeah,
and also I feel like if Lady Gaga's scenes weren't cut, I probably would have enjoyed it more, but I don't think
yeah.
the
Apparently, they cut
general
a lot of shit from
audience
her. Yeah.
I don't think that would have affected its box office,
No,
but that would have probably made me enjoy it more personally.
yeah,
It's a combination, but
yeah,
anyways, yeah, thanks for the question. Um, yeah, I feel like I guess we could kind of wrap up there,
yeah,
right? I'll
yeah,
recommend the list for next week.
yeah.
So this is one that I'm surprised we haven't done this list yet, but I think this is kind of perfect. Just it's Halloween season, and just we're seeing the rise of Art the Clown. I want us to do our top 10 favorite horror icons.
That's a good one.
So
I
I
might
think
have
that
to
could be
watch a bunch of
interesting.
them now because I feel like there's so many obscure ones that I
Yeah,
haven't
bro,
seen.
because to stretch it to 10, that
Is
we're
yeah, we're
gonna
gonna
have
be
to get
pulling out
obscure.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna
Does
have to get obscure.
Ash Williams doesn't count, right? Because he's not really like a.
I mean, he's like a hero.
But he's horror.
I would count him. He probably wouldn't be on my list just because I'm gonna go more for villains. But if you want to use
You
him,
know
you
what?
can use him.
Fuck it. I'll do villains.
All right, but
Yeah.
what you can recommend a movie?
So I actually mentioned this movie a bunch of times on this podcast just now, but I'm going to be recommending Suspiria, directed by Dario Argento. I've been trying to get more into international horror movies, and also if any of you have any recommendations, is my cat meowing in the background? Any recommendations for international horror movies? Please leave me a comment or reach out to me on Twitter because I'm trying to find new ones. And Matt, I don't know, have you seen this, Matt? Right, Suspiria?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite horror movies ever. It's
Yeah, so
really good.
I'm very
So
excited.
yeah, I'm hyped. It'll be fun to talk about. I would
Yeah,
say while watching it, just really lock into the colors, and I feel like
yeah,
it's the best use of color in any
a horror
movie
movie.
ever. Honestly, any movie,
Really? Oh
but
wow. What did you rate it?
definitely up there. Four and
In
a
the
half.
oh wow.
Initially, I'll see
Initially,
on rewatch, but
yeah.
yeah, we also have Venom next week.
Venom and Conclave 2 comes out. Well, there's a lot coming out, honestly.
Yeah,
Right?
I'll quickly check. I know for sure we have Venom.
Venom and Conclave I know comes out, but I don't know if that's like a limited release. But I do want to see that.
We're probably gonna see your monster,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I'm oh, what was you saying?
the week after this Friday, there's no releases, which is interesting.
Really?
There's the movie Blitz by Steve McQueen.
Well, apparently that's like Oscar buzz, right?
Yeah, but it'll probably be limited. I don't know if we'll be able to see it. I love Steve McQueen. He's such a great director, but I'll check it out.
Yeah.
So, all right, I guess we could wrap it up there.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for listening.
Oh wait, I
Please,
forgot. I want to
what?
mention too.
Go ahead.
I'm seeing Nora Thursday because we're lucky that we live in New York City. So I'm very excited about that because it doesn't get released until like November in the rest of the U.S.
Yeah, I've got to get out to see it. I've just been so busy. I'm like,
Yeah.
fucking, I have a
Well,
Halloween party
well,
I'm planning.
if we both see it, you know what? We could talk about it that week that no movies come out.
Yeah, I'll definitely try to go see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should be able to by the
Yeah,
next 2
because then it'll
weeks.
be a national release by then.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
all
For
right.
the rest of you guys.
Yeah, so if you guys aren't already, please follow us on our social medias. Instagram, Twitter, you could follow our letterbox. Try to hit up our TikToks. We post a lot of or our TikTok, I should say. We post a lot of clips from the episodes with
Yeah.
like graphics and stuff.
And a lot of the news we post on there as well.
Yeah. Takes me a long time to fucking edit
Yeah.
those
And
clips. So
Matt's our only editor, so thanks,
yeah,
man.
you're welcome. And yeah, if you guys don't mind, if you enjoy the episode, please, whatever platform you're listening on, if it's Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please rate us 5 stars. It really helps in pushing the podcast to more people. And if you're on YouTube, just give us a like, maybe leave a comment, whatever. But
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll be back with episode 60 next time, which is crazy. So
It is kind of nuts.
thanks everyone for listening.
Thanks, guys.
And goodbye.